Joplin in the Missouri House is so close, it may not be decided until tomorrow. 31 votes separate the Thomas Ross and Louise Secker for District 161, with Ross just under a single percentage point ahead. Jasper County Clerk Charlie Davis said his team was still counting and clarifying provisional ballots and some mail-in military ballots, so they haven't officially certified the results. We'll keep you up to date on News Talk KZRG.
It was not even close. Missourians did not want Amendments 4 or 5. UMKC political science professor Deborah Leader says
these were pretty clearly Republican initiatives and they were pretty rejected. But I think we also have to say at an 80% rejection rate, this was not just Democrats turning out at higher rates. This is also Republicans being non-persuaded. Governor Kehoe says he was disappointed with those results. If you see news, text us at 417-782-1310, 79 at 604. News Talk, KZRG.
Back to their roots. The Kansas City Chiefs have dropped the GEHA field part of the name and will simply call it Arrowhead Stadium once again. The Chiefs and the Government Employees Health Association signed a naming rights deal in 2021 that resulted in the name change, but it never stuck among the fans.
Protecting and serving. Food. Police in Miami, Oklahoma responded to a crash this week that involved a DoorDash driver. One officer took it upon herself to finish the delivery.
So your DoorDasher got into a car accident, so we just want to make sure you got your food.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There were no serious injuries in the wreck, nor was the food injured. Did the Cardinals win? Joe Morgan's got the answer.
The Cardinals took 2 out of 3 in the Bronx, wrapping up a 3-1 win over the New York Yankees last night. J.J. Weatherholt delivered a huge 2-run double, with Ivan Herrera driving him home shortly after. Backing a solid performance on the bump from Andre Plante is the Cards' first series win in nearly a month. Redbirds are off tonight before returning home tomorrow at 7:15 to host the Rockies. That game will be on AM 1230 The Talker. Across the state, the Kansas City Royals pulled off a tight 2-1 victory over Minnesota. Michael Massey broke the tie in the 7th with a solo shot, while Noah Cameron was stellar, striking out 9 over 8 innings. Kansas City goes for the series sweep tonight at home. First pitch is at 6:30. And closer to home, fall sports are officially underway. Missouri Southern football hit the field at Fred G. Hughes Stadium yesterday morning, kicking off day 1 of preseason camp for the Lions. Sports is brought to you by Hickman Lawn and Landscape for professional lawn and landscape solutions in Webb City and Joplin. Choose the experts at Hickman Lawn and Landscape. Visit hickmanlawns.com. That's sports. I'm Joe Morgan for News Talk KZRG.
Your news, the service of the city of Joplin. From plastic bottles to metal cans, recycling in Joplin is easy. Get rolling. Request your recycling cart today. Recycling benefits us all. Learn more at joplinrecycles.com. Recycle, it's how we roll. I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Joe Morgan.
Next news at 6:30. Breaking news as it happens. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk. KZRG. Now, KZRG meteorologist Jeff Maher.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Hot and humid on this Thursday with an occasional thunderstorm popping up. The high should hit 97 later today with a triple-digit heat index. Scatter storms will move through overnight with a low 74. And some afternoon thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 93. I'm Jeff Maher in the KZRG Storm Center.
Your website should work as hard as you do, especially in the age of AI search. Zimmer Marketing builds websites that help your business get found, get clicks, and get real results. Learn more at zimmermarketing.com. It just works.
Clean sweep this morning on the KZRG Storm Tracker radar. 81 in Neosho, 77 in Pittsburgh, 79 in Baxter Springs, 79 in Joplin. 100 weather updates every 24 hours on News Talk KZRG. KZRG News Time, 6:07.
When it comes to your home, you deserve a place where you and your family feel comfortable in every way. A place to cool down inside with a beverage after working in the yard or splitting eyes on the lake. Not a place where you're uncomfortable when you come back inside because your air conditioning can't keep up with the heat. Hi, I'm Barrett Satterley, and for over 100 years, Satterley Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has helped to keep your home comfortable in every way. We've consistently served Joplin and the surrounding areas, striving to provide fair and honest assessments of necessary repairs, and if needed, a quick bid on a new system installation. As a premier Lennox dealer, if you need us again, we'll continue answering the phone because you can trust that we're nowhere near finished serving our community. For repairs, maintenance, or a brand new Lennox system, you can trust Satterley Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Get started at SatterleyPlumbing.com or call us at 417-624-3660.
Goldilocks needed a dumpster. The first one she rented was too small.
My garage stuff won't fit.
The second dumpster was too big.
I don't own that much junk.
Then she found the yellow box from Big John's roll-off service.
This dumpster is just right.
Big John's.
Hey, I'm the Big John from Big John's Roll-Off Service.
And I'm the wife, Claire.
And our yellow box special gives you 15 to 20 yards of space and is the same footprint as a smaller box, but taller, so you can fit more.
It's perfect for garage cleanouts, home projects and remodels, moving, downsizing, or finally tackling that backyard pile you've been ignoring.
For just $400, you get 7 days of rental and the first 2,000 pounds of debris.
But we've only got 3 yellow boxes, so once they're booked, they're booked.
Reserve yours today at BigJohnsRolloff.com.
When you've got big waste, you need Big John's.
Big on service, big on savings. Big John's.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-884-1012 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-884-1012. That's 800-884-1012. What do you have to lose? Call 800-884-1012. Again, 800-884-1012.
The latest is always heard on News Talk, KZRG. Broadcasting from the Downstream Casino Resort Studio, this is News Talk KZRG. From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk, KZRG.
It's FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, it's News Talk KZRG. Ted Bojorquez.
And Steve Scott. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be hot. Now, in southwest Missouri and southeast Kansas and northwest Arkansas, just sunny and hot with the high of around 97. Heat index topping out about 105-ish. But in northeast Oklahoma, just 5 miles down the I-44 road, yeah, they've got a heat advisory in effect from noon until 8 o'clock tonight. They're expecting heat indexes as high as 108, with the actual high being as high as 98. So 1 degree difference gets them a heat advisory. And that's in effect again from noon until 8 tonight. Nothing showing up on the radar at this moment in the four-state area, but we do have a very slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny today with the high of 97. And then for tomorrow, a better chance of showers and thunderstorms. Partly sunny and hot with a high near 93, and the heat index tomorrow as high as 100. So a little bit cooler for us tomorrow. We are going to be talking to KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr at 7:25 and get the deets on all this weather.
Yes, indeed, Reno. Hey, something else, just a reminder, if you still haven't been able to peruse the primary election results, they are up, they are available, they are on News Talk KZRG's election headquarters. You can see everyone who won their respective parties' primary election, and you can see the final results for the big amendments that Missouri voters were voting on, as Kansas voters had a few questions on the ballot as well. But in Missouri, of course, the big ones were Amendment 4 and 5, both of which failed with flying colors. It was failed miserably, says Steve. It was a miserable existence. Pitiful for Amendments 4 and 5.
Terrible, horrible, horrendous.
More than 80% of Missouri voters voted no on both of those. Absolute schmackdown. So all that information can still be found up on our KZRG election headquarters.
And the governor said, we'll be back.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of things going on that you might want to check out, the Missouri Department of Transportation, they are inviting you to join in on a discussion regarding high-priority, unfunded transportation needs at an upcoming meeting. Very basically, MoDOT is like, hey, we got a lot of things that we probably should be doing. We got a little bit of extra money. Where should we put it, guys? Where do you, in Missouri, think that we should be investing our money in to fix? Should we fix sidewalks? Which sidewalks should we fix? Should we add more roundabouts and diamonds? Should we add some loop-de-loops? What's the TED statue budget exactly? Whatever and anything basically on your wish list, they want to hear about it.
I think I already know the answer to the TED statue budget.
What's that?
0.
How dare they? So that's kind of the idea. Now, they have created their own wish list. Hey, if we had $1 billion that we were willing to spend, here's where we think we should spend it. Here are the upgrades to Missouri's road infrastructure that we have identified as a critical must-fix issue. Does that comport with your opinions? Is that where you think all that money should be? So on and so forth. So like I said, you're invited to come check it out, voice your opinions. And by the way, I will also say this. If you think to yourself, I have issues, but surely they're niche and specific. You might think to yourself like, yeah, my issue is I wish, the cement on the railroad crossing was less rough on my car. You might think that's a small issue. MoDOT's not going to take my car's complaint seriously. But if you do go and voice those concerns, what it might do is spark a pattern. Maybe there's a lot of people around the Show Me State that have issues with the way that the cement on our railroad crossings work. And maybe you're just one data point, and they go, holy cow, we've had 800 people in 800 towns and communities across the entire state all say they don't like the way the railroad crossings are. Even though that was a really small niche issue for one person, on a large scale with all these data points, we have now identified that we need to fix our railroad crossings, obviously, right?
Maybe they even need to put a bridge over the railroad tracks like they're doing on 32nd Street.
Maybe they even need to do all that. So, and listen, again, the reason I bring that up is because even if you think that your complaint is small and meaningless, and even if you think, well, there's no way MoDOT is going to listen or care about that specific complaint, go to this event, tell them about it, and they'll log it, and they might be able to identify a very real pattern because of what you had to say, no matter how small or niche it may sound, like the railroad crossing by your house, for instance. So anyway, there's for Southwest Missouri's section of the state, there are going to be 3 meetings this month. One of them is going to be on August 19th from 4 to 5:30, and it's going to be held at the Joplin Public Library. That's on 20th Street in Joplin. Then, looks like about a week later, on August 26th, there's going to be another one in Springfield, and then there'll be one on August 27th, the following day, at the State Fair Community College in Clinton, which is pretty far northeast of the Joplin metro
that's
area.
actually in west central Missouri. But
that's pretty far up there. That's like almost near Kansas City at that point.
About 2.5 hours away.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's what's going on. You can check it out. You can go to newstalkkzrg.com for details. KZRG News Time just after 6:15. All right, let's get into some other local happenings that you might want to check out. The Spiva Center for the Arts in Joplin. That's that white building on 4th Street, sort of near Wall, it's on 7th Street, sort of near Wall and Wall Street and Joplin Avenue and whatnot. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's free, by the way. You can actually go to the Spiva Art section, the art museum, totally for free. You just walk in. No need to sneak in. Just walk right in. And they have air conditioning, which works pretty darn well. So that's pretty cool, too, when it's really hot. But anyway, on this Friday, they're having an opening reception for really a bunch of stuff that's going on in the 4 states, or really at the Spiva Center, I should say, when it comes to art and art displays. On Friday, opening reception for Big Magic.
Ooh, it's huge.
Massive
Big Magic.
They should have named it Massive Magic. You are right. Massive Magic, a community for wood-fired potters. Yeah. Very basically, it's it's exactly what it sounds like. It's for ceramics.
Does that mean they have to be fired by wood?
Plank, here's a niche reference for you. Plank from Ed, and Eddie has to fire you, has to rescind your job offer.
Oh, okay.
Precisely. So, yeah, it's ceramics. It's wood-fired potters, so people that make pottery. So that's That's cool. That's going to be on display. There's also the Press Play College in Print exhibit, which is coming to the Spiva Center actually starting in on Friday as well. Or excuse me, that would be Saturday, the 8th. And that's going to be in Spiva Center for the Arts until early October.
But they have the opening reception on Friday.
Yeah, yep. But in any case, that is basically what it sounds like. It's it's collage. It's collaging. So people make collages. You know, like when you get magazines and then you cut out individual letters and then you say, "Wire me $1 million or you will never see your pet hamster again" in a bunch of different magazine letter prints. That's like collaging.
I hope the FBI is listening to what you just said.
What do you mean?
Investigating you for writing a collage threatening to
I would never do such a
ransom
thing.
for a
I'm
pet
just
hamster. I mean, geez.
Listen, all I'm saying is technically those style of ransom notes could be classified as collage.
That's true.
And as a matter of fact, I personally will be submitting such a piece of art to the Spiva Center for the Arts for display. Because as an artist, that is the way I express myself, with requests for money in exchange for maybe hostage-held small furry pets. Maybe. Allegedly.
Okay.
Innocent until proven guilty. Technically, it's a collage, though.
You heard it right here. Mark the time. He can become a convicted collager.
Or I could become the world's most famous and wealthy collager because everyone just keeps wiring me millions upon millions into my offshore accounts for no particular reason.
That's true.
In any case, there's a whole lot of art coming to Spiva Center for the Arts. You can go to news.kzrg.com, check it all out. But really, the day to mark down is tomorrow for the Spiva Center. They're doing an opening reception for pretty much all these new exhibits. They're like, hey, come in, check it out. So that's what's going on. KZRG News Time, 6:20.
And now, KZRG's Big Three on News Talk KZRG.
Number 3.
The Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs set to vote on whether or not to hold Fauci in contempt of Congress for pleading the Fifth more than 100 times last week during questioning. Republican Senator Rand Paul wants the Department of Justice to get involved swiftly.
Number 2.
Kansas, Oklahoma, and 13 other states joining and won a lawsuit against the ATF's rules on requiring registration of firearm suppressors. The government argued since suppressors are taxed, we need a list of who owns them so we know who to tax. But the One Big Beautiful Bill that was passed last year did away with that tax, which means no need to keep a list of who owns suppressors.
Number 1.
Don't forget, you can still check out KZRG's election headquarters for midterm results and to see who's going to be squaring off against who in the regular election come November.
Now, the KZRG question of the day.
If you could add one thing to the U.S. Constitution, what would it be? We want to know. Go to KZRG's Facebook page, News Time KZRG on Facebook, or text us at 417-782-1310. If you could add one thing to the U.S. Constitution, what would it be? Coming up in less than 5 minutes. What's going on with your money? On FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, it's News Talk KZRG.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Temperatures will stay above average right on through our weekend. Today, there may be an isolated shower thunderstorm. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun into the afternoon hours. The high today near 97. The heat index closing in on 103 when you add in the humidity. And then scattered thunderstorms may pop up overnight with a low falling to 74. Partly to mostly cloudy on Friday tomorrow with a few afternoon thunderstorms at a high near 93. Then a sunny and hotter weekend with highs on Saturday and Sunday reaching the up.
Good morning, everybody. Sarisa, good morning. Avery, good morning. Happy pre-Friday. Happy pre-Friday to you, Avery. Tim, good morning. Sure happy it's Thursday. I agree, sir. Little fun fact for you, and this will be a trivia question in the future. Thursday is my favorite day of the week. I love it. Rick is here. Good morning. Looks like a good place for an early morning talk show. Yeah, it's all right. You know, it's fine. I'm just kidding. We love to have you, Rick. Avery said, wood-fired ceramics? How are ceramics going to get a job now? Yeah, like I said, Plank from Edda and Nettie fired him. Ted's a collage graduate. That's true. I have graduated from collaging. Now, I chose to use my education in collaging for evil. hence my ransom note joke I made earlier. One thing to the Constitution, I'd require of the statutory brand pilot, stationary. I've required the stationary brand pilot to send me a giant stash of their black and colored G2 pens. Whoa, Avery! You can't be using words like colored anymore. It's 2026. My God. You would not survive a day in a liberal state. No, I'm just kidding. Pilot G2 pens. Let me look those up. Let me see if I like those. Boop. G2 pens. Let's see. Oh, it's a gel ink pen. Oh yeah, those are classic. Those are solid. I have what do I have here? I have a tool. I got a tool pen here. Boop. So it's all right. I had a very nice pen that one of my good friends from Collage gave me, and she gave it to me when we graduated as a gift, and it was very sweet. And it was a really nice one, and I had it in its packaging for years. I was always too afraid to open it and use it. And then it wasn't until about a year ago that I was like, dude, I've been carrying this around to every place I moved to, and I haven't used it because it was a gift and I wanted to, take care of it. But I was like, I'm going to start using it. So I started using it, and it broke immediately. So, that wasn't fun. Now, ironically enough, it's not ironic. I shouldn't say that. What ended up being kind of funny, though, is I'm still very good friends with this person. And so shortly after it broke, I was on the phone with her, and we're just chatting, catching up, whatever. And I go, oh my God, dude, the pen you gave me when we graduated broke. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. It really sucked. I was really upset about it. And she goes, dude, don't worry about it. I'm going to be honest. I got you that gift as a last minute thing because I felt the need to get you something and I totally forgot to. So I picked it up on the way to the party where I gave it to you. And I was like, all right, I feel less bad now. So that was nice. That was a nice end result.
Get your cans to Missouri Metal Recycling in Webb City and tell them you want to make mo money.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Nippon Steel, the Japanese giant that acquired U.S. Steel for nearly $15 billion last June, says the Pittsburgh-based company is among its main sources of profit. Nippon's report listed its net profits in the quarter ending June 30th as $477 million, with about $123 million of net profit from U.S. Steel. Just one day after launching an artificial intelligence tool that allowed users to create fictional aerial images, Google Earth rolled back the feature, citing concerns about misinformation. According to the New York Times, the feature was called Nano Banana 2. SoftBank has reported profit for its fiscal first quarter that beat market expectations, driven by a huge gain on its stake in Intel, while a rise in ByteDance's value helped its Vision Fund division. The Japanese giant said net profit for the June quarter totaled $2.2 billion. Futures are mixed after the Dow's third record close in a row. That's Your Money Now.
That'll be $84.52.
Perfect. Grab the bags, honey. Mom, why do you always check your phone before we pay? I'm just claiming my cash back on the Upside app. Since we're getting the groceries here and we filled up the car on the way, I've already earned enough this morning to pay for that pizza night we're having Friday.
Wait, so the app pays for pizza?
Not exactly, but the cash I earn on stuff we need helps us pay for the stuff we want. It's just a little win for our family every week.
Get more out of your everyday. Upside is the free app that gets you cash back on routine purchases like gas, groceries, and dining out at more than 100,000 locations nationwide. No points, no rebates, just cash back straight to your wallet. Download the free Upside app and use promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus on your first purchase. That's promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus. Remember, use promo code ACT5.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
If it makes the establishment nervous, we're talking about it. Hi, this is Vince Colonnese. Join me tonight at 8, right after Mark Levin on News Talk KZRG.
It's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk KZRG.
Just before 6:30, the KZRG news time is 6:28. It's FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. News Talk KZRG, 79 in Joplin, 79 in Miami, 75 in Pittsburgh, and an easy, breezy, beautiful 79 in Neosho.
It's going to be a hot one today. If you're in northeast Oklahoma, you've got a heat advisory going into effect at noon until 8 o'clock tonight. For southwest Missouri, southeast Kansas, northwest Arkansas, it's just going to be sunny and hot, mostly sunny and hot, with a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. High today of 97, heat index values as high as 105. Then for tomorrow, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly sunny and hot with a high near 93. Heat index a little bit cooler, the high feeling like only 100 for tomorrow. We're going to be talking to KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr at 7:25.
Yes, sirree, Bob. Coming up after the news in less than 10 minutes at around 6:40, we're going to be taking a look at a big win for gun owners in the United States, a win that 2 out of the 4 states had an intimate part in securing.
Ooh.
That's coming up in less than 10 minutes at around 8:40. On FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk KZRG. Hey, by the way, don't forget to go ahead and check out the primary election results. You can do so on KZRG's Election HQ at newstalkkzrg.com/elections. We got all the results there, and why it is important to take a look at that is because come November, the winners of the respective primary party elections will be squaring off against each other in major races, like, for instance, Kansas governor, major races for state representation for southwest Missouri, for southeast Kansas, so on and so forth. You can also take a look at what a beatdown Missouri's Amendment 4 and 5 had faced just a couple of days ago. Again, that's at newstalkkzrg.com/elections. Good morning.
At 6:30. I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Bojorquez.
Here's what's trending on News Talk KZRG.
Israel soldiers killed.
Iran still talking about the strait.
Contempt vote for Fauci.
No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk KZRG. Heading for a high of 97. Could feel as warm as 105 today. Your complete forecast with KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr. Following sports, that'll be at 6:38. It's cloudy. It's 81 in Neosho, 77 in Pittsburgh, 79 in Galena, 79 in Joplin, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. 2 Israeli soldiers have been killed in Lebanon.
These are the first combat deaths of Israeli soldiers since the start of a truce with Hezbollah in June. 4 other service personnel were seriously wounded in the incident, an explosion inside a building they'd entered as part of a security sweep. The Israeli militaries conducted retaliatory attacks on a town about 15 miles away from where the blast occurred. 1 person reported dead and 12 others hurt. This as talks continue between Israel and Lebanon to discuss implementing the truce. It's meant to lead to an Israeli withdrawal from the country's south. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The Middle East is waiting to see if a deal can be reached on the Strait of Hormuz to end the war between the U.S. and Iran. Trey Inks with more.
The president spoke from Las Vegas about the Iranian regime.
I'd rather make a deal because I don't want to kill people. I do not want to kill people.
Reports do indicate that progress in talks between Iran and Oman aimed at opening the strait, led in part by Gulf allies urging the president not to strike. Amid the possibility of a return to conflict with Iran if an agreement isn't reached, President Trump posted to Truth Social about reports the United States is running out of air defense interceptors. The president said in part, the U.S. has massive amounts of munitions, especially of certain types. He goes on to say additionally large amounts are being manufactured and shipped to the U.S. as needed.
A Senate panel will be voting today on holding Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt.
A week after Dr. Anthony Fauci invoked the Fifth Amendment, refusing to answer questions at a hearing about the response to COVID-19, the Senate Homeland Security Committee will vote on a contempt resolution. The resolution, authored by the panel's Republican chairman Rand Paul, accuses Fauci of obstructing a congressional investigation. Fauci was the recipient of a pardon by former President Biden. Republican lawmakers argue that compels him to testify. Republicans accuse Fauci of covering up the origins of the pandemic. Fauci denies that. If the committee approves a contempt resolution, Paul could refer Fauci to the Justice Department for possible prosecution. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Clouds 79, 633, News Talk, KZRG.
A man from Sarcoxy could be spending the next 15 years in prison. News Talk KZRG's Steve Smith with more.
64-year-old Glenn Jump admitted to sexually abusing a young family member, only 10 or 11 years old at the time. Prosecutors say that Jump used gifts, money, drugs, and alcohol to manipulate the victim. They say Jump previously served prison time for similar crimes. He'll officially be sentenced next month. Steve Smith, News Talk KZRG.
The fight over what regions of the state are represented in Congress continues. The Missouri Secretary of State, Denny Hoskins, has blocked a referendum from getting on the ballot, which challenges the newly drawn 8 congressional districts, which made 7-1 Republican advantage from the previous 6-2 GOP to Democrat. He says the challenge to the new map is unconstitutional.
And courts have consistently held that congressional redistricting is subject to the laws and requirements of state constitutions, including the right to a referendum. People in Missouri are going to have the final say in November and the chance to vote no to politicians and their desperate power grabs.
People Not Politics of Missouri immediately sued the Secretary of State. That's the group that gathered $305,000 against the newly drawn congressional district. If you see news, text us at 417-782-1310. It's cloudy at 79. Going on 635, News Talk, KZRG.
Save a little money on back-to-school shopping this weekend. It's Missouri's sales tax holiday. It's kicking off tomorrow and runs through Sunday, August 9th. You won't pay state or local sales tax on qualifying items like clothing, school supplies, and some tech products, all under certain dollar amounts. The National Federation of Independent Business is encouraging you to shop at local stores during this time. You can get all the details at news.kzrg.com.
Oh, man, I was just getting used to it. It's get ready to say goodbye to an old friend. Google Assistant.
The virtual assistant from Google that had you asking your phone, "Hey Google," will be going away sooner than you think. It's been slowly coming offline this year, and now the online giant says they will be shutting it down starting September 4th. Why get rid of it? To push you more towards using Google Gemini, its artificial intelligence. The cutoff for the assistant will affect more than just your phone, but anything else connected to your phone, including smartwatches, headphones, and even Android Auto in your car. Most of Google's smart home devices are already moved over to Gemini. Eben Brown, Fox News.
One thing I've noticed is Google Assistant is actually making more and more mistakes. Have you noticed that? Oh, wait a minute. You have Apple, don't you, Ted?
That's true, yeah.
Did the Cardinals win last night? Joe Morgan's got the answer.
The Cardinals took 2 out of 3 in the Bronx, wrapping up a 3-1 win over the New York Yankees last night. J.J. Weatherholt delivered a huge 2-run double with Ivan Herrera driving him home shortly after. Backing a solid performance on the bump from Andre Plante is the Cards' first series win in nearly a month. Redbirds are off tonight before returning home tomorrow at 7:15 to host the Rockies. That game will be on AM 1230 The Talker. Across the state, the Kansas City Royals pulled off a tight 2-1 victory over Minnesota. Michael Massey broke the tie in the 7th with a solo shot, while Noah Cameron was stellar, striking out 9 over 8 innings. Kansas City goes for the series sweep tonight at home. First pitch is at 6:30. And closer to home, fall sports are officially underway. Missouri Southern football hit the field at Fred G. Hughes Stadium yesterday morning, kicking off day 1 of preseason camp for the Lions. Sports is brought to you by Hickman Lawn and Landscape. For professional lawn and landscape solutions in Webb City and Joplin, choose the experts at Hickman Lawn and Landscape. Visit hickmanlawns.com. That's sports. I'm Joe Morgan for News Talk KZRG.
Your News, a service of the city of Joplin. From plastic bottles to metal cans, recycling in Joplin is easy. Get rolling. Request your recycling cart today. Recycling benefits us all. Learn more at JoplinRecycles.com. Recycle, it's how we roll. I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Borges.
Next news, 7 o'clock, breaking news as it happens. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk. KZRG. Now, KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Temperatures will stay above average right on through our weekend. Today, there may be an isolated shower thunderstorm. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun into the afternoon hours. The high today near 97. The heat index closing in on 103 when you add in the humidity. And then scattered thunderstorms may pop up overnight with a low falling to 74. Partly to mostly cloudy on Friday tomorrow with a few afternoon thunderstorms at a high near 93. Then a sunny and hotter weekend with highs on Saturday and Sunday reaching the upper 90s. I'm Jeff Marr in the KZRG Storm Center.
Clean sweep this morning so far on the KZRG Storm Tracker radar. 81 in Neosho, 77 in Pittsburgh, 79 in Carl Junction, 79 in Joplin. News Talk, KZRG with 100 weather updates every 24 hours. KZRG News Time, 6:38.
Hinkle's Ace Hardware, they got what you need there.
For generations, our families have serviced customers. Hinkle's Department Store in downtown Macomb, Illinois, Lee's Grocery in Cape Girardeau, Grand Country Homeworks in Grove, and for the past several decades, Hinkle's Ace Hardware. We've grown up understanding the power of a helping hand with the simple belief, service comes first.
And that commitment to being truly helpful is exactly why I decided to join the family business. Hi, this is Colton Hinkle, the second generation carrying on the legacy of Hinkle's Ace Hardware. For 20 years, my parents have built on our family foundation, watching families grow up just like ours.
Our stores are more than hardware. They're a neighborhood tradition, built on trust and excellent customer service. We know the products, we know our community, and we know exactly how to...
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Who is joining us this very merry Monday morn? Just kidding, it's Thursday. Doc is here. Good morning, Doc. Bill, good morning, billionaire. Girl Chris. What's up, Girl Chris? What else we got here? Avery, what kind of pen breaks so soon as you use it? A cheap gift that somebody got for me last minute, apparently. Boy Chris is also here. Boy Chris said, did you notice today is the anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima? No, I did not notice. I did not notice that, Boy Chris. So yeah. Oh, Ted sounds chipper this morning. Yeah, I sound it. I'm not. Sarisa. I'm dead inside. This is actually the worst day of my entire life. But I do sound chipper. Ooh. Dang, is Sarisa snoozy boozy? Is that your problem? You got some of the hiccups over there, Big C?
Which month? Restrictions apply. See offer details at easycater.com.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, it's Chris Plant. Be sure to tune in to FM 102.9, AM 1310 every weekday from 9 to 11 for breaking news, commentary, and politics. News Talk KZRG.
From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk KZRG.
Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach has announced a major win for statewide, nay, nationwide gun owners. Ted Pahorquez.
Steve Scott. It's supposed to be turning mostly sunny a little bit later on today. It's going to be hot. High today at 97. Heat index as high as 105 in southwest Missouri, southeast Kansas, and make that northwest Arkansas. But in northeast Oklahoma, a little bit warmer. They're expecting heat indexes to top out as high as 108. So therefore, they have a heat advisory going into effect for northeast Oklahoma. That'll be at 12 noon until 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to be talking to KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr. Get all the latest information on the weather at 7:25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kansas had joined 14 other states. Well, let me take a step back, actually. Kansas and Oklahoma, 2 of the 4 states, which is awesome. Kansas and Oklahoma had joined 13 other states in basically this lawsuit against the ATF, which previously had a rule which required that anybody that purchased a suppressor and or short-barreled rifles and shotguns would be put on a list, an ATF government-watched list.
Are they trying to suppress people from buying those?
Well, I mean, no, not necessarily from buying them, but they were trying to keep track of them.
If they went on a list, that might make people go, should I do it or not?
Well, I suppose you're not wrong there. But in any case, it has now been deemed unconstitutional for the ATF to be putting people on a list for purchasing suppressors or short-barrel rifles and shotguns, which is pretty interesting.
Very interesting.
In a written statement, Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach wrote, quote, "Today, the state of Kansas and our fellow plaintiffs won a great victory against the U.S. Department of Justice, which had been wrongly defending an unconstitutional law. The federal government has no right to demand that American citizens ask for permission before putting an accessory on their firearm to protect their hearing," end quote. He then went on to write, quote, "Our Constitution provides for a government of limited powers at the federal level. We must always be vigilant to enforce those constitutional limits, especially when government overreach threatens the rights of Americans to keep and bear arms," end quote. Now, very basically, here was the very general, basic, overall argument here, was in a law that was nearly 100 years old. Basically, they stuck a tax on certain things, taxes on suppressors, the purchase and selling of them, and a tax on short-barreled rifles, things like that. Well, in the One Big Beautiful Bill that was passed out of Congress last year, they removed that tax on suppressors. They removed that tax on short-barreled firearms, shotguns and rifles, so on and so forth. And the ATF's argument was, well, since we're taxing these things, we need to create a list of people who the tax applies to, so that way we can keep track of who does and doesn't owe us money. So you got to register to get a suppressor and a short-barreled rifle, so that way we can keep track that we need to tax you. That was the argument. Well, the tax went away under Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, and so now there's no reason to keep a list of these people that own suppressors and short-barreled rifles, right?
Except for if you're trying to track who owns the guns.
Except if you're trying to track who owns the guns and suppressors.
Which goes against the Constitution.
1 quadrillion batillion %. And that's not just me and Steve talking. That's a court of appeals talking. Because they ruled out of Texas, a federal court of appeals saying, yeah, no, they're right. Now that the tax is gone, you have no legal reason to be tracking these people that are owning these simple accessories that are no longer have a special tax.
Wow. Can you imagine what the Democrats would do if they were in power and were using that law? Wow.
I don't even need to imagine. You know what the Democrats do when they're in power? They shut down schools, they shut down churches, they spy on you, so on and so forth. No imagination required.
That's true. Very true.
We saw it. They shut down the economy. The price of gas goes up. Although apparently that's a shared burden between Democrats and Republicans. Because what was the price you saw this morning going in?
The lowest price I saw was $3.43.9, but I saw one gas station not too far from the radio station. In fact, it went up 10 cents a gallon to $3.69.9.
Which one was that?
That was the Shell gas station.
Shell, yeah. Thanks, Shell. Appreciate it. Man of the people over there, huh, Shell? Awesome. So, totally great. Anyway, that's sort of off kilter there. The point is that, yeah, I think this is a win for gun owners. And the other thing that I found kind of funny about this is, people always complain, myself included, and this is a legitimate complaint, that lawyers, they are the king of taking a very simple sentence and overcomplicating it to kingdom come and bending it to their will or to the will of whoever's paying them to be their lawyer. And it bothers me. And the left is so good at that. It's what we call lawfare, isn't it?
Yes.
A targeted effort to take basic written rules, the spirit of the law, and use it against its intended purpose. And I will say this, that goes both ways, baby, because the lawyers absolutely made a jungle gym out of this argument. And guess what? I'm glad they did, because it is to protect the right to bear arms, and it is to the great benefit of legal gun owners in this country.
That's very true.
So it goes both ways. I thought that was awesome. So in any case, that's what's going on there. KZRG News Time just before 6:50. Of course, you can check out those details for yourself at news.kzrg.com. Hey, by the way, don't forget, we do still have our primary election results up. Well, I shouldn't say our election results. It was the people's election results.
The People's Choice.
The People's Choice Awards.
Yeah, I guess you really could call it the People's Choice Awards.
I mean, if you think about it, that's all it is.
Yeah, it really is.
And also, technically, if you think about it, all elections are popularity contests. High school never ends. Shout out to Bowling for Soup. All right, let's get into it, though.
Bowling for Soup?
Have you not heard the band Bowling for Soup?
No, I have not.
Steve, you're like a music guy, aren't you?
Not Bowling for Soup.
The band Bowling for Soup famously has a song called High School Never Ends.
I've heard of Bowling for Dollars, which used to be a big-time popular TV game show that was shot locally in a lot of markets back in the 70s.
Bowling for Soup also did a very famous cover of a Fountains of Wayne song, Stacy's Mom.
Oh, now Stacy's Mom, I've heard of that song. I've not heard of it done by Bowling for Soup, though. I'll have to go look that up.
Do a little Google in there. Anyway, the point is that on KZRG's election headquarters, we do have the results from the primaries that went down earlier this week, 2 days ago. So you can see the results there, and here's why the results are important to look at. The primaries, their entire purpose is the Democrat Party is nominating who they want to represent them in the actual election. Same with the Republicans. And so, now that those results are in, come November, come the actual election, you now get to see who's squaring off against who for these various races. You can take a little look. So those results can be found at news.kzrg.com/elections. You can also see the absolute beatdown that was Missouri's Amendment 4 and 5. They lost by, what did you say earlier?
80-20.
Yeah, it was
approximately
terrible. No, I said they lost by flying colors. You called it embarrassing. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Total embarrassing loss for 4 and 5.
It was humongous. It was horrifying.
It was what?
Humongous. Humongous win or loss for the amendments.
Yeah, not humongous, humongous. KZRG News Time 6:50.
And now, KZRG's Big Three on News Talk KZRG.
Number 3.
The Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs set to vote on whether or not to hold Fauci in contempt of Congress for pleading the Fifth more than 100 times last week during questioning. Republican Senator Rand Paul wants the Department of Justice to get involved swiftly.
Number 2.
Kansas and Oklahoma and 13 other states joining and winning a lawsuit against the ATF's rules on requiring registration of firearm suppressors. The government argued that since suppressors are taxed, we need a list of who owns them so we'll know who to tax. But the One Big Beautiful Bill that was passed last year did away with that tax, which means no need to keep a list of who owns the suppressors.
Number 1.
Don't forget, you can still check out KZRG's Election HQ for midterm results and also see who's going to be squaring off against who in the general election in November.
You're telling me, Steve, you've never heard of this song? You've never heard that at all?
No, I don't think so.
Wow.
I've heard Stacy's Mom by the original group.
Oh, that's surprising. No, that's not Stacy's Mom. That's Bowling for Soup.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard that.
Now, the KZRG question of the day.
If you had if you could add one thing to the U.S. Constitution, what would it be? Go to KZRG's Facebook page, News Talk KZRG on Facebook. If you could add one thing to the U.S. Constitution, what would it be? Coming up, what is going on with your money? That's in less than 5 minutes. On FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk KZRG. Good morning.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Temperatures will stay above average right on through our weekend. Today, there may be an isolated shower thunderstorm. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun into the afternoon hours. The high today near 97. The heat index closing in on 103 when you add in the humidity. And then scattered thunderstorms may pop up overnight with a low falling to 74. Partly to mostly cloudy on Friday tomorrow with a few afternoon thunderstorms at a high near 93. Then a sunny and hotter weekend with highs on Saturday and Sunday reaching the upper 90s. I'm Jeff Marr in the KZRG Storm Center.
Gingrich Structures builds agricultural, commercial, and residential post-frame buildings designed to meet your needs. All built with superior craftsmanship and attention to every detail. From planning to completion, your local Gingrich Pro will guide you every step of the way, helping you create a custom post-frame building you can count on for years to come. Visit GingrichStructures.com to connect with your local Gingrich Pro and ask about the industry's only 5-year workmanship warranty. That's GingerICHStructures.com.
Wow, it's really hot out here.
Why don't you take your coat off? It's over 90 degrees today.
I can't. It's stuck.
Your coat is stuck?
And I think it's giving me a rash or something because I'm itching and stewing over here.
While you can beat the heat with shorts, sandals, and a trip to the pool, your dog is stuck wearing the same fur coat every day. That's why summer grooming at All Dogs Dream is so important. Professional grooming helps remove excess undercoat, allows the skin to breathe more easily, and helps keep your pet comfortable when temperatures start to climb. It's also a great time to catch fleas, ticks, and skin issues early. From relaxing spa packages to individual services like grooming, baths, and blowouts, All Dogs Dream has everything your pet needs to look, feel, and smell their best this summer. Find more information and book your dog's next grooming appointment online at alldogsdream.com. Let your dog stay, play, and learn with us at All Dogs Dream, just north of Neosho on Gateway Drive.
Hello?
Hey, what are you doing?
Avoiding the heat. Where are you? It sounds like you're at a party or something.
Pretty much. I'm at Anvil Axe Company, and you should be here too.
I don't know.
Do you want to have fun?
Yeah.
Then get to Anvil Axe Company.
Go to the only place that's forged for fun. Anvil Axe Company and Event Center. With axe throwing, cornhole, ping pong, darts, and more. There's an entire summer's worth of fun waiting for you at Anvil Axe Company. Minutes from Joplin and Neosho, miles from Boring. Book online at anvilaxeco.com. If it's time for a party, wedding reception, company picnic, outing, or event, go to the only place that's forged for fun. Anvil Axe Company and Event Center. With axe throwing, projected interactive targets, an outdoor patio with fire pits, and catering options from upscale to affordable favorites, Anvil Axe Company and Event Center gives you the most unique, most diverse, most fun venue in the area. Minutes from Joplin and Neosho, miles from Boring. Book online at anvilaxeco.com.
It's funny how we learn to live around things. You stop ordering crunchy tacos, you always chew on the left side. You skip the ice cream. Little by little, you adapted. And it all started with a small pain when you chewed, then a zing whenever you ate anything cold. And before long, it was a full left side ache every time you ate. And going to the dentist, you swore off sitting in that chair years ago, and fear has held you to it.
Hi, I'm Dr. Grant Kirk.
And I'm Dr. Connor Postjan with Joplin Family Dental in our new location, Carthage Family Dental, where we're accepting new patients.
Sedation Dentistry has helped countless patients take that first step towards a healthier smile.
Even the most anxious patients who thought they'd never go back to the dentist.
Feel calm and relaxed while receiving the dental work your smile needs, and get ready to enjoy crunchy tacos and ice cream again.
Call Joplin Family Dental to discover the comfortable way to a new smile, or find more details at joplindental.com.
Where did you get that smile? Joplin Family Dental.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
When I was at Lindsey Graham's memorial at the National Cathedral, where I did speak, I had an opportunity to meet with a number of very high-ranking, names you would recognize, Democrats in the U.S. Senate. And we had private conversations. They were off the record, and I will respect my promise to keep it off the record in terms of who they are, what they said. But I am telling you, they see nothing but danger in this movement. This is not the people they want to be associated with. And they're saying it, but they won't say it out loud. And as their silence is so deafening, now it's a danger.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
I know the headlines changed, the threats facing Israel and their survival, that does remain. Now, I know people move on story to story, news breaks fast, but for Israeli families, they continue to live with the reality of terrorism, uncertainty, and a fight for their survival. As Christians, I believe we are called to stand with our friends in Israel in their time of need. That's why I'm a proud supporter of the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Now, they are on the ground every day providing life-saving aid, humanitarian assistance for struggling families, and that means they are providing food and water and shelter and clothing and medications, but they can't do it without our support. Please join us in helping the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Please pray for them, first of all, and for protection and strength and a lasting peace. But whatever you can donate to help people in this hour of need is greatly, greatly appreciated. Go to their website. It's one word, prayifcj.org. That's prayifcj.org. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Catch my show every weekday. It all starts at 2 for honest news, truthful news on News Talk, KZRG. Depend on it.
It's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk, KZRG.
It's cloudy right now with the sun trying to peek through some of the clouds. It's going to become mostly sunny later today. It's going to be, you guessed it, hot with a high of 97. Heat index making it feel like 105 in southwest Missouri, southeast Kansas, northwest Arkansas. But in northeast Oklahoma, they've got a heat advisory going into effect at noon going until 8 o'clock tonight. Their high is going to be 98 in northeast Oklahoma with the heat index possibly as high as 108. Tomorrow, better chance of showers and thunderstorms. Partly sunny and hot with a high near 93. Heat index only feeling like 100 tomorrow. We're going to be talking to KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr at 7:25.
You know, Arkansas, the state, is just the state Kansas with the letters AR in front of it, right?
Yeah, kind of.
So why is it not pronounced Arkansas? We have Kansas. Why not Arkansas?
Because you're weird.
Otherwise, we would pronounce Kansas saw, right? Kasaw?
I guess.
That doesn't make any sense. English is a vexing language, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Coming up after the news, we're going to be taking a look at a local delivery.
Four states news, talk, and severe weather station. KZRG, KIXQ HD2, Joplin, a free service of Zimmer Marketing. It's 7 o'clock.
COVID controversy returns to the Senate. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Senate committee gathers this hour to consider holding Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. A week after the ex-presidential COVID advisor refused to answer questions, saying this over 100 times.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
After Fauci had called the committee chairman unhinged and obsessed with putting him in jail, but Republican Senator Rand Paul tells Fox,
why would you need the Fifth Amendment if all you have to do is come before a committee and not lie?
Fauci was the recipient of a pardon by former President Biden. Republican lawmakers argue that compels him to testify. Republicans accuse Fauci of covering up the origins of the pandemic. Fauci denies that. If the committee approves a contempt resolution, Paul could refer Fauci to the Justice Department for possible prosecution.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. Iran and Oman are said to be close to an agreement on getting shipping flowing through the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. demands attacks on ships end. Vice President Vance tells Fox.
Number one, the Iranians are extraordinarily difficult people. Number two, they have a fractured system. So there are people within their system who want the war to be over. There are also people within their system who are crazy radicals who want the war to continue.
Vance has been directly involved in negotiations, also demanding Iran agree to never have nuclear weapons. Another American adversary already has them, North Korea. And Fox's Jonathan Savage reports it test-fired another missile today.
South Korea's military says its northern neighbour launched a short-range ballistic missile out to sea beyond its east coast. The South's Joint Chiefs of Staff has bolstered surveillance and is closely coordinating with the United States and Japan.
Also in Japan today, a somber ceremony in Hiroshima. Where yet 81 years ago today, the U.S. dropped the first of 2 atomic bombs on Japan, leading to the end of World War II. America's listening to Fox News.
No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk. KZRG heading for a high of 97, could feel as hot as 105. Your complete forecast with KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr following sports. That'll be at 7:08. It's cloudy with the sun trying to peek through. 79 in Neosho, 79 in Pittsburgh, 78 in Diamond, 78 in Joplin, FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk, KZRG. Toddler on the highway. Now his parents have been charged.
So the toddler allegedly slipped out of his home there in the Cassville area while his parents, Skyla Beck and Tyler Swadley, were hosting a party. The boy walked about 50 yards before reaching Highway 76, where traffic did end up stopping in both directions. The boy was not hurt, but his parents say they didn't know he was gone for about 6 minutes. The two now facing child endangerment charges. I'm Ty Albright, News Talk KZRG.
Unofficially, official. The race to represent Joplin in the Missouri House is so close, it may not be decided until tomorrow. 31 votes separate the Thomas Ross and Louise Secker for District 161, with Ross just under a single percentage point ahead. Jasper County Clerk Charlie Davis said his team was still counting and clarifying provisional ballots and some mail-in military ballots, so they haven't officially certified results. We'll keep you up to date on News Talk KZRG.
On another couple of issues, it was not even close. Missourians did not want Amendments 4 or 5. UMKC political science professor Deborah Leader says,
these were pretty clearly Republican initiatives and they were pretty rejected. But I think we also have to say it, an 80% rejection rate. This was not just Democrats turning out at higher rates. This is also Republicans being non-persuaded.
If you see news, text us at 417-782-1310. A mixture of sun and clouds, mostly clouds, 78, 704, News Talk, KZRG.
U.S. Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri says corporations are increasingly using artificial intelligence to boost profits at the consumer expense. Hawley says surveillance pricing starts when companies collect personal consumer data
and feed that data through their complicated algorithms, which of course are totally opaque and unavailable to you, in order to force you to pay the absolute maximum amount of money they can get out of your pocket for every single product that they can offer to you.
Protecting and serving. Food. Police in Miami, Oklahoma responded to a crash this week that involved a DoorDash driver. One officer took it upon herself to finish the DoorDash delivery.
So your DoorDasher got into a car accident, so we just want to make sure you got your food. Thank you. You're welcome.
There were no serious injuries in that wreck. Well, the Cardinals, they got a victory last night, according to Joe Morgan.
The Cardinals took 2 out of 3 in the Bronx, wrapping up a 3-1 win over the New York Yankees last night. J.J. Weatherholt delivered a huge 2-run double, with Ivan Herrera driving him home shortly after. Backing a solid performance on the bump from Andre Plante is the Cards' first series win in nearly a month. Redbirds are off tonight before returning home tomorrow at 7:15 to host the Rockies. That game will be on AM 1230 The Talker. Across the state, the Kansas City Royals pulled off a tight 2-1 victory over Minnesota. Michael Massey broke the tie in the 7th with a solo shot, while Noah Cameron was stellar, striking out 9 over 8 innings. Kansas City goes for the series sweep tonight at home. First pitch is at 6:30. And closer to home, fall sports are officially underway. Missouri Southern football hit the field at Fred G. Hughes Stadium yesterday morning, kicking off day 1 of preseason camp for the Lions. Sports is brought to you by Hickman Lawn and Landscape. For professional lawn and landscape solutions in Webb City and Joplin, choose the experts at Hickman Lawn and Landscape. Visit hickmanlawns.com. That's sports. I'm Joe Morgan for News Talk KZRG.
Your News, a service of the City of Joplin. From plastic bottles to metal cans, recycling in Joplin is easy. Get rolling. Request your recycling cart today. Recycling benefits us all. Learn more at joplinrecycles.com. Recycle, it's how we roll. I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Joe Morgan.
Next news at 7:30. Breaking news as it happens. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk. KZRG. Now, KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Hot and humid on this Thursday with an occasional thunderstorm popping up. The high should hit 97 later today with a triple-digit heat index. Scatter storms will move through overnight with a low 74. And some afternoon thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 93. I'm Jeff Marr in the KZRG Storm Center.
Your website should work as hard as you do, especially in the age of AI search. Zimmer Marketing builds websites that help your business get found, get clicks, and get real results. Learn more at zimmermarketing.com. It just works.
No rain showing up this morning on the KZRG Storm Tracker radar. It's cloudy, 79 in Neosho, 79 in Pittsburgh, 78 in Webb City, 78 in Joplin. News Talk, KZRG with 100 weather updates every 24 hours. KZRG News Time going on 7:08.
We buy guns, oh yes, we buy guns, oh yes, we are the best, oh yes, we buy guns, oh yes.
This is
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Poor Ted. Yeah, I'm such a victim, Sarisa. You're so true for that, Sarisa. I'm probably the biggest victim I know, if you really think about it. Bill said, Ted, how did your note go over with the Hinkles? Hilarious, my man. So funny. John Hinkle texted me and he goes, dude, what is this? He was so confused. And I said, give it to your son. See if he can translate it. And then he said, our son called this note cursed. I said, that's Zoomer speak for you. Hey, Jody, we got the Queen's Wave. Sue said, I completely forgot about Bowling for Soup. A great band. They also made the intro music for Phineas and Ferb, one of the formative cartoons of my childhood. Teresa said, not boozy, just snoozy, which is too bad. That's a shame. Doc, good morning, Doc. Doc said, term limits for all elected Congress and senators. Yeah, I think that's great. I like that idea. What, Doc, in your opinion, Doc, for term limits, what should the limit be set at? I had a very, very interesting conversation with an individual. I'm going to be honest, I literally forgot who it was. That's how interesting the conversation was. No, I think it was, I'm not going to say who I think it was because I don't want to put words in somebody's mouth and it ends up not being their words. But it was an elected official in Missouri. And they told me that they're all in for term limits, but they think that 8 years is not enough. They would do 12 years. So instead of, 8 years is, 4 terms? They would do 6 terms, basically.
In the House.
In the House, yeah. So they said they would do 6 instead of 4 as the limit, but they liked the limit. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And here's why I'm actually okay with that is because if you think about it, a decade, which is 10 years, a decade really is the smallest measurement of time that we have to measure the progress of our society, right? And here's what I mean by that. The difference between 2002 and 2003 is not really that big. But the difference between 2002 and 2012, massive difference, right? And so if you want to actually measure the progress, you can't do it year over year. Really, I think that you can really only do it decade over decade. And so if you kind of siphon off units of time by that, you can really only measure a progress of, say, the societal shifts in a state's governance. You really can only do it decade over decade, in my opinion. So why not give these elected officials a decade to make a difference? I'm okay with that. But still maintaining, of course, term limit on them.
It's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk, KZRG.
7:10 is the KZRG News Time. It's FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk, KZRG. Ted Bojorquez.
And Steve Scott. It's going to be becoming mostly sunny and hot as the day progresses. Right now, we've got a mixture of sun and clouds with the sun coming up, according to the KZRG eye in the sky that I'm looking at the picture right now. We've got a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, and then becoming mostly sunny. High of 97, with the heat index making it feel as hot as 105. Now, tomorrow, there's a better chance of showers and thunderstorms. Partly sunny and hot with a high near 93. It'll be cooler. The heat index tomorrow only topping out as high as 100. There is a heat advisory in effect from noon until 8 tonight for Northeast Oklahoma. They're expecting heat indexes to top around 108 for this afternoon. We're going to be talking to KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr at 7:25.
Yes, sirree, Bob. We absolutely will. Well, we got a text from Doug. Doug texted us at 417-782-1310. You can always text us at that number. Whatever you want. Compliments are absolutely accepted. And if you must criticize, we will also humbly accept those as well. But Doug texted us something a little different. He said, hey, what's going on with that Medicaid fraud? He said, I saw something on social media about that. What is that? Well, Doug, here's the answer to that question. Attorney General Catherine Hanaway of Missouri, the Show Me State, announced that her Medicaid Fraud Control Unit had obtained a Medicaid fraud conviction against an individual, a personal care attendant named Daryl Carr, who had submitted false statements and time records in order to receive payments from, you guessed it, Missouri Medicaid. Now, Daryl Carr, no longer allegedly, he's been convicted, so he did it. Daryl was a personal care attendant. This is somebody that takes care of somebody they know or in some capacity. He was not allegedly. He claimed that he was taking care of his father-in-law. And as a result, he got some little bit of Medicaid pay. Hey, you're taking care of a family member? We'll help you out with some Medicaid payments because Daryl's father-in-law was a Medicaid recipient. Now, this individual, Daryl, clocked in and out about 509 times between 2021 and 2023. Now, Daryl was originally hired to care for his father-in-law in 2017. That did, in fact, happen. And through a Medicaid vendor named Deer Valley Home Health Services, LLC, he was getting a little bit of stipend from the state government for that. However, in 2021, the grandson of this elderly individual had moved his grandpa into a senior living facility, meaning he was no longer being cared for by Daryl Carr. Unfortunately for state taxpayers, Daryl Carr very conveniently forgot to mention that to the state. Forgot to say, hey, I'm no longer taking care of this guy. And as a matter of fact, it was not just a, oopsie, forgot to remind you about that, state of Missouri. It was an active effort to try and defraud the state of Missouri's Medicaid program. How? Wow. Because from 2021, which is when the old guy was checked into the senior living facility, for 2 more years, Daryl Carr kept on clocking in and clocking out, kept on clocking in times to the state of Missouri, seeking stipend payment for his quote-unquote services, which he never rendered. And also, as a matter of fact, while they were investigating this, not only was the old guy in a senior living facility, but the times in which Daryl Carr allegedly took care of this individual, he was working his other job as a security guard at a grocery store. So how could you be caring for an old guy while you're literally working as a security guard elsewhere?
Maybe his father-in-law was there at the grocery store.
Well, he wasn't. He was in the senior living facility.
Oh.
KZRG News Time 7:15. So this dude tried to steal money from the Medicaid program. He ultimately was caught. He now has to pay all that money back plus $10,000 as a little bit of a no, not happening guy on top of that. So he's got to pay a lot of money back to the state of Missouri. Now, here's why I bring this up. This might sound like something small, like kind of a niche story. Oh, it's one small thing. Why is the Attorney General making a big deal? Why are we making a big deal on the show? Here's why I think it's a big deal. Broken windows theory. You're familiar with that, Steve.
Oh, yes,
this
very
was
much so.
A crime-fighting theory. The idea is if you fix the small things like broken windows in a neighborhood, that will, over time, deter all the big things. It starts small, goes big. And I think that we need to have that mentality for things like fraud in this country. I know when Doge moved in, it was all the big, cool, sexy things. Oh my gosh, we found the Leering Centers, $180 million of fraud. Yeah, that's big, and we need to stop that. No questions asked. We also, in addition to that, need to get the quote-unquote small peas and potatoes, like a lonely security guard from Missouri defrauding Medicaid by the tune of $30-something thousand. That might not sound like a lot. Daryl Carr defrauded the state of about $37,000. Might not sound like a lot, but again, broken windows theory. We need to stop these small-time fraudsters. And if you go by broken window theory, in theory, that should have a domino effect to help stop the big stuff, right?
It definitely should, because $37,000 adds up if it's multiple times from multiple people over the years.
100%. And here's the other thing, and I talked about this on the show I think last week. Here's the other thing about the anti-fraud movement that MAGA and Republicans have been all in on that is so vexing to me. You would think that the party that should be the most anti-fraud would be the far left in the Democrat Party. You would think that they should be the most anti-fraud, and here's what I mean. If you look at the history of all this fraud that's going on, where is it primarily taking place? The Leering Center. That's money that should have gone to impoverished families that need child care. What is one of the biggest Democrat drum beats right now? Affordable child care. We need to have the government pay for everybody's child care. That's a left-leaning Democrat idea, and the very programs that are doing what they want, what the left wants, are the ones being defrauded. Shouldn't they, of all people, be like, hey, all of these individuals siphoning millions of dollars from these left-leaning programs, that's millions of dollars that should be going to impoverished communities, which they're all for, which they're all about. Shouldn't they be the most upset about this?
Well, it should. Why don't we ask a Democrat sometime?
Exactly. Medicaid, for instance. Medicaid is kind of a lefty idea to begin with, in my opinion.
Want it for all if you get to some of the
Medicaid and
candidates.
Medicare for all. Exactly. Yeah. That's a left-leaning Democrat idea. Well, the problem with that, of course, is where do we get the money? And that's where the real debate is, the real actual adult conversation.
From the fraud, that's where.
Well, that's the thing. Where do we get the money from? Well, if there's fraudsters siphoning all that money off, then it's even harder to justify Medicaid and Medicare for all. It's even harder to explain how to get all that money. Why would the left, the far left and Democrats, not be the most anti-fraud for the very programs that they are fighting tooth and nail to secure out of your pocket? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm glad Republicans are anti-fraud because Republicans are the party of fiscal responsibility. Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly. And so it makes sense why Republicans would be really big on cracking down on fraud. It makes no sense that Democrats don't seem to give a flying hoot about cracking down on fraud. It makes no sense that the far left was so egregiously against the DOGE movement, the Department of Government Efficiency movement, to crack down on fraud. They should be the loudest and proudest defenders of cracking down on fraud, especially in programs like Medicaid and Medicare, especially in programs like food stamps, especially in programs like funding for child care for impoverished communities, the Leering Centers, the food stamp fraud, all of the above. Why are they not helping Republicans? It makes no sense to my brain.
Maybe it's Democrats that are successfully getting away with it at the moment.
Maybe it's Democrats that are successfully getting away with it.
Imagine that.
Shoot. Did Steve...
In a world that you can imagine what's going on.
Steve, did you just blow the lid off this whole thing?
Oh, man, I did? Wow. I'll pat myself on the back.
Looks like we found the culprit, huh?
Yeah.
That was very much so the Scooby-Doo rip the mask off. Oh, it was Old Man Jenkins the whole time moment.
Scooby-Doo.
KZRG News Time 720.
And now, KZRG's Big Three on News Talk KZRG.
Number 3.
The Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs set to vote on whether or not to hold Fauci in contempt of Congress for pleading the Fifth more than 100 times last week during questioning. Republican Senator Rand Paul wants the Department of Justice to get involved swiftly.
Number 2.
Kansas, Oklahoma, and 13 other states joining and winning a lawsuit against the ATS rules on requiring registration of firearm suppressors. The government argued since suppressors are taxed, we need a list of who owns them so we know who to tax. But the One Big Beautiful bill that was passed last year did away with that tax, which means, no need to keep a list of who owns suppressors.
Number 1.
Don't forget, you can still check out KZRG's election headquarters for midterm results and see who's going to be squaring off against who in the general election in November.
Now, the KZRG question of the day.
If you could add something to the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, what would it be? If you could add one thing to the U.S. Constitution, what would it be? Text us at 417-782-1310 or leave us an open mic message on the KZRG app. Coming up, a look at weekday weather. That's coming up in less than 5 minutes. On FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk KZRG.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Temperatures will stay above average right on through our weekend. Today, there may be an isolated shower thunderstorm. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun into the afternoon hours. The high today near 97. The heat index closing in on 103 when you add in the humidity. And then scattered thunderstorms may pop up overnight with a low falling to 74. Partly to mostly cloudy on Friday tomorrow with a few afternoon thunderstorms at a high near 93. Then a sunny and hotter weekend with highs on Saturday and Sunday reaching the upper 90s. I'm Jeff Marr in the KZRG Storm Center.
You know that feeling. Your driver calls and says, "You're not going to like this." It's your first holy cow moment of the day. Maybe it's a blown hub, a trailer that won't brake right, a lighting issue right before a load has to leave. But whatever it is, you know your day and your bottom line is at risk. That's why you need Bennett's Truck and Trailer. They know those holy cow moments hit fast. And when they do, you need someone who knows how to fix the problem and keep you moving. From the biggest fleets to owner-operators running on thin margins, Bennett's is the name people trust when the unexpected threatens to put the brakes on your day. Because at Bennett's, it's not just about parts and repairs. It's about keeping your business on the road. Fast service, experienced techs, dependable solutions. That's why so many companies trust the Bennett way.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Cindy from Bennett's Truck and Trailer. Roll into the shop on Thunder Road in Dunawig or find us online.
Good morning, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, honey, what's wrong with the garbage disposal?
I don't know. It was working this morning. Did you put something down there?
Just a couple of corn cobs. Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good.
When you got a clog that can't be beat. When your shower water is above your feet. When you flush that bowl and it makes you frown.
Green River makes that drain go down.
Hi, this is Nathan Terry. Don't let a clogged drain or broken garbage disposal spoil your summertime fun. Give Spring River Drain and Sewer a call, and our licensed drain experts will tackle your toughest clogs in the quickest way possible. We have the tools to clear out grease, years of buildup, and even corn cobs. Plus, we charge flat rate pricing for drain calls, so you know the price before we even show up. Schedule an appointment at springriverdrain.com. And remember,
Green River makes that drain go down.
August is Sandwich Month, and Easy Cater is rolling out a new surprise deal every week from August 3rd through 30th. That means every order of delicious sandwiches for your team comes with a side of something special just for you. From cheesesteaks and cubanos to pita pockets and pastrami, Easy Cater makes it easy to bring everyone's favorite sandwiches to work and rack up big rewards while you're at it. New week, new deal, all August long. Visit easycater.com to place your next order and take a bite out of Sandwich Month. Restrictions apply. See offer details at easycater.com.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Join me, Buck Sexton, and our good friend Clay Travis every weekday starting at 11 on FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk KZRG.
It's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk KZRG.
Steve Scott along with KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. It is going to be hot, and even hotter as we head into the weekend.
Oh, you're kidding. I mean, I thought it was not even summertime as yet.
We're squarely in the dog days of summer here as we head through the early part of August, and it's going to feel like it each day. A little bit of relief tomorrow before we heat right back up into Saturday and Sunday.
The big question is, how hot is it going to be?
Well, About 97 this afternoon. That's the actual air temperature. You add in the humidity, though, it will feel closer to 103, so certainly uncomfortable. And we do have a stationary front that will be close by, and as temperatures heat up, a few thunderstorms may pop up into the afternoon. The ones that do develop may be strong, and we'll have to keep an eye on the radar from this afternoon to the evening with a slight risk for severe thunderstorms capable of some damaging wind gusts, maybe even some small hail as well. And we'll see a few more thunderstorms tonight, down to 74. Tomorrow, a little bit cooler, 93, with a partly to mostly cloudy sky and some afternoon thunderstorms popping up. Then high pressure settles in for the weekend. That means sunny, hot, and humid conditions Saturday and Sunday. Highs into the upper 90s. The heat index into the triple digits. Will stay hot with highs in the upper 90s to around 100 early next week on Monday and Tuesday.
So it means we're not going to have the nice cool temperatures on the weekend like we got spoiled with here recently?
Yeah, last weekend was a nice respite from the heat and humidity, but unfortunately that's not the case. This weekend temperatures will heat right back up into the upper 90s, probably close to 100 on Tuesday, and still in the upper 90s by the middle part of next week on Wednesday, and still dry. So, if we don't get much rainfall today, tonight, and again tomorrow afternoon, it's certainly going to be dry from this weekend into the middle part of next week.
All right. So what I'm hearing is we must endure further.
Yes, we must endure. Eventually, we'll get a break from this heat and humidity. But, this start of August, certainly going to be a hot and humid one for us.
I think the break will be coming when it changes over to fall.
That would be nice, yes, as we get into September. The autumnal equinox, that would be, Eventually, when daylight gets shorter, we must cool down. That's the way it usually goes. So.
In theory, anyway. Well, hey, Jeff, thanks, man, for that insight. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you again soon.
You got it. Thank you.
Have a good one. That was a look at weekday weather, which is disappointing, to say the least. But what is not disappointing is the fact that today is, in fact, pre-Friday. It's Thursday, which is the day before Friday. And if you think about it, it's just pre-Friday, and which makes Wednesday pre-Friday. And really, this is me gaslighting myself into convincing myself that every day is some form of Friday, which helps the days get by a little bit easier.
We need to have a new song come out. All right, if you're an artist and you're recording music, record one that says, "Thank God it's Thursday, Thursday, Thursday."
Yeah, exactly. So what you can do to really, really, really squeeze every single moment out of this pre-Friday is go to newstalkkzrg.com/elections and take a look at the primary election results. The primary elections took place this week, and we have the technically preliminary results on our website. They're only technically preliminary because technically they do need to wait for, military ballots and stuff like that. But in no election in the history of us doing this has there ever been a massive influx of military ballots that completely swayed an election, unless you count a little bit of Joe Biden 3 a.m. Voter dump.
It just happened to be under the table with covers over them.
Yeah, exactly. Unless that happens, which...
wait a minute, allegedly happened.
All right. Which there's no evidence to suggest that has ever been a major issue in Missouri and Kansas.
No, only pretty much in Democratic-run states.
Yeah, well, California, New York, Washington, places like that, Oregon might be an issue.
Georgia.
Georgia's
that was where the
really,
Georgia one had the...
right, but that's not really a Democrat-run state. They certainly have Democrat-run areas.
They've got some Democrat senators right now. I don't think they have a Republican senator from Georgia at the moment.
I'll take a look. I was completely unaware of Georgia's senatorial lineup there. But in any case, the point is that Missouri and Kansas, pretty secure.
That's right.
We haven't seen any major reporting of any major issues with Kansas or Missouri. So the results on KZRG's election hub, technically they're unofficial, but by all intents and purposes, those are the results. So you can check them out. And why it's important is because come November, the people that won their respective races to represent the Democrat and the Republican parties, they won their primaries, which means that you can get insight as to who is squaring off against who. You can check that out at KZRG's Election HQ and get some insight on what's happening with those amendments, some of which passed, some of which did not. Good morning.
At 7:31, I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Bojorquez.
Here's what's trending on News Talk, KZRG.
Israeli soldiers killed.
Marine One mishap.
Contempt for Fauci.
No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk, KZRG. Topping out at 97 today, your complete forecast with KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr. Following sports, that'll be at 7:38. 79 in Neosho, 79 in Pittsburgh, 78 in Carl Junction, 78 in Joplin. FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk, KZRG.
Two Israeli soldiers have been killed in Lebanon.
These are the first combat deaths of Israeli soldiers since the start of a truce with Hezbollah in June. 4 other service personnel were seriously wounded in the incident, an explosion inside a building they'd entered as part of a security sweep. The Israeli militaries conducted retaliatory attacks on a town about 15 miles away from where the blast occurred. 1 person reported dead and 12 others hurt. This as talks continue between Israel and Lebanon to discuss implementing the truce. It's meant to lead to an Israeli withdrawal from the country's south. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The president's helicopter encountering a safety scare as it took off from Washington. Jackie Heinrich has the story.
Marine One took off from the White House grounds with the president on board, but air traffic controllers had not stopped traffic at nearby Reagan National Airport. The FAA says despite this violation, it was not a close call. Federal aviation rules require aircraft to stay separated by at least 1.5 miles horizontally and 500 feet vertically. Tracking data shows Marine One left the White House at 2:33 p.m. Eastern, bound for Joint Base Andrews, and about a minute later, an American Airlines flight operated by Envoy Air took off for Florida. A White House spokesperson says, quote, Marine One flights are piloted by some of the best aviators in the world, and at no point was the president in harm's way.
A Senate panel will be voting today on holding Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt.
A week after Dr. Anthony Fauci invoked the Fifth Amendment, refusing to answer questions at a hearing about the response to COVID-19, the Senate Homeland Security Committee will vote on a contempt resolution. The resolution, authored by the panel's Republican chairman Rand Paul, accuses Fauci of obstructing a congressional investigation. Fauci was the recipient of a pardon by former President Biden. Republican lawmakers argue that compels him to testify. Republicans accuse Fauci of covering up the origins of the pandemic. Fauci denies that. If the committee approves a contempt resolution, Paul could refer Fauci to the Justice Department for possible prosecution. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Mix of sun and clouds, 78, 734, News Talk, KZRG.
A man from Sarcoxy could be spending the next 15 years in prison. Steve Smith, what's going on?
64-year-old Glenn Jump admitted to sexually abusing a young family member, only 10 or 11 years old at the time. Prosecutors say that Jump used gifts, money, drugs, and alcohol to manipulate the victim. They say Jump previously served prison time for similar crimes. He'll officially be sentenced next month. Steve Smith, News Talk KZRG.
The fight over what regions of the state are represented in Congress continues. The Missouri Secretary of State, Denny Hoskins, blocking a referendum from getting on the ballot, which challenges the newly drawn 8 congressional districts, which made 7-1 Republican advantage from the previous 6-2. He says the challenge to the new map is unconstitutional.
And courts have consistently held that congressional redistricting is subject to the laws and requirements of state constitutions, including the right to a referendum. People in Missouri are going to have the final say in November and the chance to vote no to politicians and their desperate power grabs.
People, not politics in Missouri, immediately sued the Secretary of State. That's the group that gathered 305,000 signatures against the newly drawn congressional district. If you see news, text us at 417-782-1310. Mix of sun and clouds, 78, 735, News Talk, KZRG.
Save a little money on back-to-school shopping this weekend. It's Missouri's sales tax holiday. It's kicking off tomorrow and runs through Sunday, August 9th, and you won't have to pay state or local sales tax on qualifying items such as clothing, school supplies, some tech products, all under a certain dollar amount. The National Federation of Independent Businesses is encouraging you to shop at local stores during this time. You can get a complete list of some of those qualifications at newstalkkzrg.com.
Well, it's time to get ready to say goodbye to Google Assistant.
The virtual assistant from Google that had you asking your phone, "Hey Google," will be going away sooner than you think. It's been slowly coming offline this year, and now the online giant says they will be shutting it down starting September 4th. Why get rid of it? To push you more towards using Google Gemini, its artificial intelligence. The cutoff for the assistant will affect more than just your phone, but anything else connected to your phone, including smartwatches, headphones, and even Android Auto in your car. Most of Google's smart home devices are already moved over to Gemini. Eben Brown, Fox News.
The Cardinals were winners last night, according to Joe Morgan.
The Cardinals took 2 out of 3 in the Bronx, wrapping up a 3-1 win over the New York Yankees last night. J.J. Weatherholt delivered a huge 2-run double, with Ivan Herrera driving him home shortly after. Backing a solid performance on the bump from Andre Plante is the Cards' first series win in nearly a month. Redbirds are off tonight before returning home tomorrow at 7:15 to host the Rockies. That game will be on AM 1230 The Talker. Across the state, the Kansas City Royals pulled off a tight 2-1 victory over Minnesota. Michael Massey broke the tie in the 7th with a solo shot, while Noah Cameron was stellar, striking out 9 over 8 innings. Kansas City goes for the series sweep tonight at home. First pitch is at 6:30. And closer to home, fall sports are officially underway. Missouri Southern football hit the field at Fred G. Hughes Stadium yesterday morning, kicking off day 1 of preseason camp for the Lions. Sports is brought to you by Hickman Lawn and Landscape. For professional lawn and landscape solutions in Webb City and Joplin, choose the experts at Hickman Lawn and Landscape. Visit hickmanlawns.com. That's sports. I'm Joe Morgan for News Talk KZRG.
Your news, the service of the City of Joplin. From plastic bottles to metal cans, recycling in Joplin is easy. Get rolling. Request your recycling cart today. Recycling benefits us all. Learn more at joplinrecycles.com. Recycle, it's how we roll. I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Borges.
Next news, 8 o'clock, breaking news. As it happens, no one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk. KZRG. Now, KZRG meteorologist Jeff Maher.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Temperatures will stay above average right on through our weekend. Today, there may be an isolated shower thunderstorm. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun into the afternoon hours. The high today near 97. The heat index closing in on 103 when you add in the humidity. And then scattered thunderstorms may pop up overnight with a low falling to 74. Partly to mostly cloudy on Friday tomorrow with a few afternoon thunderstorms at a high near 93. Then a sunny and hotter weekend with highs on Saturday and Sunday reaching the upper 90s. I'm Jeff Maher in the KZRG Storm Center.
No rain showing up so far this morning on the KZRG Storm Tracker radar. Sunshine with some clouds, 79 in Neosho, 79 in Pittsburgh, 78 in Carthage, 78 in Joplin. News Talk, KZRG with 100 weather updates every 24 hours. KZRG News Time, 7:39.
Goldilocks needed a dumpster. The first one she rented was too small.
My garage stuff won't fit.
The second dumpster was too big.
I don't own that much junk.
Then she found the yellow box from Big John's roll-off service.
This dumpster is just right.
Big John's.
Hey, I'm the Big John from Big John's Roll-Off Service.
And I'm the wife, Claire.
And our yellow box special gives you 15 to 20 yards of space and is the same footprint as a smaller box, but taller, so you can fit more.
It's perfect for garage cleanouts, home.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Mary, good morning, Mary. Teresa said, I didn't know that about Phineas and Ferb. Yeah, Phineas and Ferb rocks.
Swiss cheese, colanders, bagels, donuts. A lot of things have holes in them.
Ted keeps us informed of very random things.
I'm Dr. Connor Bosch, Joplin Family Dental, and our new
That is true.
Carthage Family.
That is true.
If you have missing teeth and want to smile like you used to, dental implants can help you feel.
Avery with the Walking Dead reference, very solid. Have you played Avery State of Decay 2? I was playing last night. I'm playing like a pseudo Walking Dead mode. It is very scary. Me and my brother were playing, and it was a blast. It's a very good zombie survival game. Sir said he would have succeeded too if it wasn't for those pesky kids. Grr. Hello and goodbye. Wow, it's a complicated morning today. Yeah, it's called a passive-aggressive relationship. That's what I have with you guys. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing aggressive or passive about our relationship, everybody. I actively love all of you, and I have no aggression towards you all. Steve, on the other hand, he's got a lot of aggression in his heart. Now, lucky for you, I shield you from most of that. Lucky for you, most of Steve's aggression is directed at me and not at you. You're welcome. You're welcome, 4 states, for falling on the sword for that one. Doing what I can to protect you from the wrath of Khan, which is Steve's middle name, Steve Con Scott.
How's that spelled? C-O-N or otherwise?
It's it's C-O-N. No, actually, Steve, his middle name was actually derived after Noah Khan, famous music artist. And if you're confused, saying, wait a second, wasn't Steve born way before Noah Khan? How could it be named after someone that wasn't born till after he was born, till after he was named? Well, something you don't know, but Steve's parents were actually sorcerers, and they pondered orbs, and the orbs told them the future. And they listened to music from the future and were big fans of Noah Khan back in 1812. They named Steve after him. So he said, has anyone else seen the old black and white movie called Gaslight? It's one of my favorite movies. It's good. Yeah. He's credited with spawning the famous term gaslighting in the year of our Lord 2026.
Right after Mark Levin on News Talk KZRG.
From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk KZRG.
7:43 is the current KZRG news time. It's FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk KZRG. Going to be a hot one today.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be becoming mostly sunny and hot as the day progresses. The high today, 97, with the heat making it feel on the heat index as high as 103 to 105. Northeast Oklahoma, they're expecting a little bit warmer, 98 for the actual high, with the heat index as high as 108. Therefore, they have a heat advisory going into effect at noon for Northeast Oklahoma and staying in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Now, tonight, we've got a pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy with the overnight low down to around 73. Tomorrow, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, but a little bit cooler, partly sunny and hot with a high near 93. Heat index topping out around 100. That all according to KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr.
It's FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, it's News Talk KZRG. Don't forget, if you are curious about how the primary vote went, News Talk KZRG's election headquarters has all that information for you, totally available for free. Go to newstalkkzrg.com/elections, and you can get all the details there. I wanted to get into this story for you this morning. KZRG News Time 7:45. Local story, very funny. A DoorDash delivery. You know DoorDash, you can order food online. Somebody picks it up in their regular car and drops it off at your house. A DoorDash delivery still reached its destination after the driver was involved in a crash.
What?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
And I'm sure you're thinking, wow, that's a dedicated DoorDash delivery driver. They got in a car crash and still got the food there in time. No, not quite. They had to have a little help from the Miami Police Department. This DoorDash driver got into a car crash. The Miami Police Department responded to this wreck and said, oh my gosh, you're a DoorDash delivery driver? This person needs to get their Mickey D's ASAP. Is everyone here safe and okay? Yes? Give me that bag. We're delivering this immediately.
Now, you want to actually hear what happened?
No, I would like to.
Come on, here's the actual
All right.
recording of what happened when the officer delivered.
Oh, the recording,
So
yeah.
Your DoorDasher got into a car accident, so we just want to make sure you got your food. Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah. Steve, you're exactly right. That was the audio of the police officer delivering that DoorDash delivery to where it needed to go despite the car crash.
And what's really great is this happened in Miami, Oklahoma. I saw that on national media yesterday. We made national news in our area.
Yeah. So I thought it totally rocked. I thought it was very funny. And by the way, I do need to say this too. I'm going to, all right, get your pitchforks ready. I'm going to say something that you're going to be mad at me about.
All right.
But I'm going to say it. Listen, I love the story. I think this rocks. And here's why I think this is so funny. Steve geez, my God. Steve has a literal pitchfork in the studio. Where did you? That is a safety hazard.
Well, I got it from the supply that we used to
Oh my
use
God.
the Nerf guns.
Somebody call HR. My goodness. All right, here's the deal, though. I honestly think, and you can roast me for this opinion at 417-782-1310.
We got the heat going today, so we can roast you.
I honestly think people that order food on DoorDash are lazy. I mean, there is no justification for ordering anything on DoorDash or Uber Eats or anything. If you're already going to pay to get junk food, i.e. fast food, the least you can do is get off your lazy behind and get in the car and go and get it yourself. It takes all of 12, maybe 20 minutes, as opposed to what? Paying extra for unhealthy food to have someone deliver it to you on top of the fees, on top of the tip. That makes a $15 meal easily $30 to $40 with everything all included. That's an insane waste of money. Get off your lazy behind, get it yourself. Unless, and here's what I'm getting at here.
Okay.
The only time I think DoorDash truly is acceptable is if you are too intoxicated to drive. If you're too drunk, or now in Missouri, too high to drive. In which case, yeah, DoorDash is a much safer alternative, and I think it's the actually responsible thing to do as opposed to getting in your car and driving.
It's called good capitalization.
Sure, yeah. Now, that being said, I like to imagine that whoever made the DoorDash order was too drunk or too high to go and order the food themselves. And they go, oh, dude, we'll just DoorDash it. It'll be fine. And lo and behold, who shows up to give them their food?
The police.
It's the police. Open up. We got your food here. They were probably freaking out in that house.
I hope they didn't order a bunch of Doritos, like nacho cheese Doritos.
Yeah, all the munchy foods for all the potheads out there. The Doritos, the Cheetos, the Mountain Dews, all of that. The police rolls in. How funny would that be?
Well, that would have been very, very funny.
So I thought that was hilarious. I was like, uh-oh. This probably gave those DoorDash order recipients an absolute scare to see the police on their front door. But it was cool. Listen, it's a feel-good story. I think it's awesome. And by the way, I would like to say this. That is the serve part of serve and protect.
I would agree.
That is
Definitely.
Absolutely. That is A-class, S-tier service by the police.
Good job to that officer. Good job.
Yeah, big shout-out to them. So I thought that was kind of funny. Details at newstalkkzrg.com. Okay, moving on from there, another quick story we have for you. The Spiva Center for the Arts, they have a lot of new exhibits coming. Spiva Center for the Arts is in Joplin. It's on the 7th Street near Wall Street, Wall Avenue. It's Avenue in Joplin. Wall Avenue and Joplin Avenue. It's that big white building that kind of looks like it's from the future, which, by the way, it totally does.
Yeah, especially the artwork in front of it.
Yeah, exactly. They got a ton of new exhibits coming to town. Tomorrow, they're having a big sort of, not grand opening, so to speak, but a grand reception for these new art exhibits. And a lot of people, I understand that in the 4 states area, the Spiva Center, it looks like you need to be wearing a tuxedo and have 2 monocles on. I know 2 monocles, you would think that's a pair of glasses. No, 2 individual monocles, 1 on each eyeball, in order to enter that place. But no, that's not the case. It's actually very family-friendly. It's very people-friendly. You can wear cargo shorts and a ratty old T-shirt, and they will accept you. And by the way, it's totally free. You can go to the Joplin Spiva Center for the Arts, just walk in, no payment, no nothing necessary, and go and check out the art. You can go with your friends. You can go with your family. You don't need to be wearing a tuxedo. You don't need to be drinking tea with your pinky up. You don't need to be using big fancy words. All you got to do is roll up. Totally free. It's air conditioned. It's a great way to spend an afternoon or a weekend with your family. And they have a lot of new exhibits coming into town in the Spiva Center for the Arts. So you can check them out.
Boy, it's a good thing you're not coming to family game night tonight.
What? Why?
Because you'd have to be drinking with your pinky out.
That's true.
All drinks with the pinky out.
Yeah, I
That's
remember.
one requirement. One requirement. You have to have your pinky out.
Yeah, that is
My
true.
brother actually taught me that one.
One time I did go over to Steve Scott's house. It was like 7 p.m. I knocked on the door. He opened it up. He was in a full tuxedo. And I go, why are you wearing a tuxedo? It's a Tuesday night. What is happening? And he goes, it's after 6. I'm not a savage. In the Steve Scott family household, we wear tuxedos after 6, gosh darn it.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, look at my cat. It's a tuxedo cat.
He's wearing it year-round, isn't he?
No, she is.
Wow. excuse me for misgendering your cat,
You
Steve.
misgendered my cat, Hannah.
I'm so glad that...
I can't believe that you misgendered her.
I'm so glad
and
that...
she's listening right now, so whatever you want to do to apologize, she's listening.
I'm so sorry for misgendering you, Hannah. You are the proudest, loudest they-them cat I've ever met. You are both stunning and brave, and you're my hero. KZRG News Time, 7:51.
And now, KZRG's Big Three on News Talk KZRG.
Number 3.
The Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs set to vote on whether or not to hold Fauci in contempt of Congress for pleading the Fifth more than 100 times last week during questioning. Republican Senator Rand Paul wants the Department of Justice to get involved swiftly.
Number 2.
Kansas, Oklahoma, and 13 other states joined and won a lawsuit against the ATF's rules on requiring registration of firearm suppressors. The government argued that since suppressors are taxed, they need a list of who owns them so they can know who to tax. But the One Big Beautiful bill that was passed last year did away with that tax, which means no need to keep a list of who owns suppressors.
Number 1.
Don't forget, you can still check out KZRG's Elections HQ for midterm results and see who is going to be squaring off against who in the general election.
Now, the KZRG question of the day.
If you could add one thing to the U.S. Constitution, what would it be? Go to News Talk KZRG's Facebook page, News Talk KZRG on Facebook. If you could add one thing to the U.S. Constitution, what should it be? Coming up, your chance to win a complimentary taco, free chips and salsa from the award-winning Ghetto Tacos, and they'll give you a hint. It's a carryover question from yesterday. Good morning.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Temperatures will stay above average right on through our weekend. Today, there may be an isolated shower thunderstorm. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun into the afternoon hours. The high today near 97. The heat index closing in on 103 when you add in the humidity. And then scattered thunderstorms may pop up overnight with a low falling to 74. Partly to mostly cloudy on Friday tomorrow with a few afternoon thunderstorms at a high near 93. Then a sunny and hotter weekend with highs on Saturday and Sunday reaching the upper 90s. I'm Jeff Marr in the KZRG Storm Center.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Hinkle's Ace Hardware, they got what you need there.
For generations, our families have serviced customers. Hinkle's Department Store in downtown Macomb, Illinois, Lee's Grocery in Cape Girardeau, Grand Country Homeworks in Grove, and for the past several decades, Hinkle's Ace Hardware. We've grown up understanding the power of a helping hand with the simple belief, service comes first.
And that commitment to being truly helpful is exactly why I decided to join the family business. Hi, this is Colton Hinkle, the second generation carrying on the legacy of Hinkle's Ace Hardware. For 20 years, my parents have built on our family foundation, watching families grow up just like ours.
Our stores are more than hardware. They're a neighborhood tradition, built on trust and excellent customer service.
Good morning, everybody. All right. Avery. I haven't played that. I'll write it down. Yeah, I mean, it's, if you like, sort of, open world zombie survival games, it's up there for solid, for sure. Passive aggressive. How about assertive non-aggressive? Assertive non-aggressive. I have, when I was in high school, I had a good friend, and he was really aggressively, militantly complimentary. And he would walk up to people and he was a wrestler. So he was cut. This guy was in phenomenal shape. Everyone was like a little scared of him. And he would get right up in your face. And he'd be like, "Ted, I think you're really funny." And he would yell, "I think you're really funny." I'm like, "Oh God, oh, thank you." Or he'd be like, he'd go up to people and be like, "You are such a smart and good person. You know that, right? Don't ever be down on yourself, ever." And you're like, "Oh God, okay, I won't be down on myself. Okay, geez, my goodness." And like, he would just be super aggressive. It was so funny. And he did it as a bit, but oh my God, it was hilarious. Steve con queso. Can I order this Steve con queso?
Sure.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Steve with cheese.
Okay.
Yes, where the term gaslight comes from. Good job, Ted. Listen, when it comes to millennial and Gen Z slang and terminology, I know my stuff.
From 11 till 2 right here on News Talk KZRG. You can depend on it.
It's the KZRG Morning Challenge.
Your chance to win a complimentary taco, free chips and salsa from the award-winning, and this is true, very delicious Ghetto Tacos.
To win, be the first one on the phone with the correct answer to the question, 417-782-1310, 417-782-1310. We have a holdover question, if I remember right.
You do remember right, Steve. You do indeed. AJ had texted us this as a suggestion trivia question, and it was so good we decided to use it, so big shout out to AJ. What year was the first modern credit card introduced? You know credit cards, they're kind of an Americana thing.
Yeah.
What year was the first modern credit card first introduced to planet Earth? 417-782-1310. When was the first modern credit card introduced? Steve, what are we giving away?
Complimentary taco and chips and salsa from the award-winning Ghetto Tacos.
417-782-1310. We are giving away a complimentary taco, free chips and salsa from the award-winning Ghetto Tacos. What year was the first modern credit card introduced? I'll give you a hint. It was after the year of our Lord, 1930.
Wonder what the credit interest was on the first one.
417-782-1310. What year was the first modern credit card introduced? It was after 1930, and it was before 1980. So that's your little window there. 417-782-1310. What year was the first modern credit card introduced to planet Earth? News Talk KZRG, what is your guess?
1950.
That is correct. 1950. For bonus points, can you name it? The credit card.
I cannot. That was about as big a guess as I could have made, Ted.
Well, 1950 is exactly right. It was the Diners Club card, which was issued to people that were part of the quote-unquote Diners Club. Who do we have here?
This is Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, what's your favorite radio station?
KZRG.
Oh, love to hear it, my man. Love to hear it. We'll be with you in just a second here. Stay on the horn for us, Jeff, if you don't mind. And you have just won a complimentary taco, free chips and salsa from the award-winning Ghetto Tacos. On FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. Good morning.
The four states news, talk, and severe weather station. KZRG, KIXQ HD2, Joplin. A free service of Zimmer Marketing. It's 8 o'clock.
Holding Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what a Senate committee is considering.
There will be another pandemic. The time to determine which legislative reforms are necessary to ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated is now.
So Republican Chairman Rand Paul accuses Fauci, an ex-presidential COVID advisor, of obstructing their investigation by refusing to answer any questions at a hearing last week.
This committee and the American people have a right to know why Dr. Fauci's agency funded dangerous research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology and what role he played in approving and overseeing it.
Paul and many Republicans believe COVID leaked out of a lab, something Fauci's doubted. The doctor also maintains Chairman Paul has a vendetta, wanting him in jail. Democratic Senator Gary Peters urged the committee a few minutes ago to vote no.
Following a one-sided investigation and a rushed process that has repeatedly excluded the minority and other members of this committee.
If the resolution's approved, it could be sent to the Justice Department to consider prosecuting Fauci. Talks continue to try to get the shipping flowing again through the Strait of Hormuz as President Trump keeps insisting attacks on ships end or else.
I'd rather make a deal because I don't want to kill people. I do not want to kill people.
Reports do indicate that progress in talks between Iran and Oman aimed at opening the strait, led in part by Gulf allies urging the president not to strike.
That's Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. The president also keeps demanding that Iran agree to never have nuclear weapons. The conflict in Lebanon's flared back up. 2 Israeli soldiers were killed, 4 others wounded after
an explosion inside a building they'd entered as part of a security sweep. The Israeli militaries conducted retaliatory attacks on a town about 15 miles away from where the blast occurred. This as talks continue between Israel and Lebanon to discuss implementing the truce. It's meant to lead to an Israeli withdrawal from the country's south.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. America's listening to Fox News.
No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk. KZRG, topping out at 97 today. Your complete forecast with KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr. Following sports, that'll be at 8:08. Some sun, some clouds, 81 in Neosho, 77 in Pittsburgh, 81 in Galena, 81 in Joplin. AM 1310, FM 102.9, 105.9. News Talk, KZRG. Toddler on the highway. Now his parents have been charged.
The toddler allegedly slipped out of his home there in the Cassville area while his parents, Skyla Beck and Tyler Swadley, were hosting a party. The boy walked about 50 yards before reaching Highway 76, where traffic did end up stopping in both directions. The boy was not hurt, but his parents say they didn't know he was gone for about 6 minutes. The two now facing child endangerment charges. I'm Cy Albright, News Talk KZRG.
Unofficially official. The race to represent Joplin in the Missouri House is so close, it may not be decided until tomorrow. 31 votes separate the Thomas Ross and Louise Secker for District 161, with Ross just under a single percentage point ahead. Jasper County Clerk Charlie Davis said his team was still counting and clarifying provisional ballots and some mail-in military ballots, so they haven't officially certified results. We'll keep you up to date on News Talk KZRG.
Missourians on Tuesday did not want Amendments 405. UMKC political science professor Deborah Leader says
these were pretty clearly Republican initiatives and they were pretty rejected. But I think we also have to say at an 80% rejection rate, this was not just Democrats turning out at higher rates. This is also Republicans being non-persuaded.
If you see news, text us at 417-782-1310. Mixture of sun and clouds, 81 at 8:04. News Talk KZRG.
Missouri U.S. Senator Eric Schmitz has introduced a bill aimed at tackling an invasive tick that's a threat to livestock and other animals. Sue Danielson reports.
Senator Schmidt's bill would designate tick-borne livestock diseases as a high-priority research area, and it authorizes the Department of Agriculture to award research grants for vaccines and treatments for tick-borne illnesses, including those caused by the Asian longhorn tick. The invasive tick spreads a parasite that causes anemia in cattle and can infect horses, sheep, and pigs, domesticated animals, and wildlife. Currently, there is no treatment for the infection spread by the tick. Sue Danielson, MissouriNet.
Protecting and serving food. Police in Miami, Oklahoma, responding to a crash this week that involved a DoorDash driver. One officer took it upon herself to finish the delivery.
So your DoorDasher got into a car accident. So we just want to make sure you got your food. Thank you. You're welcome.
There were no serious injuries in the wreck. Cardinals were winners last night, according to Joe Morgan.
The Cardinals took 2 out of 3 in the Bronx, wrapping up a 3-1 win over the New York Yankees last night. J.J. Weatherholt delivered a huge 2-run double, with Ivan Herrera driving him home shortly after. Backing a solid performance on the bump from Andre Plante is the Cards' first series win in nearly a month. Redbirds are off tonight before returning home tomorrow at 7:15 to host the Rockies. That game will be on AM 1230 The Talker. Across the state, the Kansas City Royals pulled off a tight 2-1 victory over Minnesota. Michael Massey broke the tie in the 7th with a solo shot, while Noah Cameron was stellar, striking out 9 over 8 innings. Kansas City goes for the series sweep tonight at home. First pitch is at 6:30. And closer to home, fall sports are officially underway. Missouri Southern football hit the field at Fred G. Hughes Stadium yesterday morning, kicking off day 1 of preseason camp for the Lions. Sports is brought to you by Hickman Lawn and Landscape for professional lawn and landscape solutions in Webb City and Joplin. Choose the experts at Hickman Lawn and Landscape. Visit hickmanlawns.com. That's sports. I'm Joe Morgan for News Talk KZRG.
Your news, the service of the city of Joplin. From plastic bottles to metal cans, recycling in Joplin is easy. Get rolling. Request your recycling cart today. Recycling benefits us all. Learn more at joplinrecycles.com. Recycle, it's how we roll. I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Joe Morgan.
Next news at 8:30, breaking news as it happens. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk KZRG. Now, KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Hot and humid on this Thursday with an occasional thunderstorm popping up. The high should hit 97 later today with a triple-digit heat index. Scatter storms will move through overnight with a low 74. And some afternoon thunderstorms tomorrow with a high of 93. I'm Jeff Marr in the KZRG Storm Center.
Your website should work as hard as you do, especially in the age of AI search. Zimmer Marketing builds websites that help your business get found, get clicks, and get real results. Learn more at zimmermarketing.com. It just works.
No rain showing up so far this morning on the KZRG Storm Tracker radar. Sunshine with some clouds, 81 in Neosho, 77 in Pittsburgh, 81 in Carl Junction, 81 in Joplin. News Talk KZRG with 100 weather updates every 24 hours. KZRG News Time going on 8:08.
Still married? That deserves a celebration. Whether it's your first anniversary or your 51st, Como Jewelry has just the thing to keep you in the good graces of your better half. Classic, custom, sparkly, or sentimental, we've got it all. Because anniversaries aren't just about counting the years. They're about celebrating all the "we made it" moments. Swing by in Pittsburgh or visit our brand new Joplin store at 3401 North Range Line. Como Jewelry, your jeweler for a lifetime and your ticket to a happy anniversary.
Save big money and get everything you need for your staining project when you shop at Menards. Pittsburgh's Paramount Stain is a premium exterior wood stain and sealant in one. It provides exceptional waterproofing protection and is ready for rain in 2 hours after application. Save big on all our staining products. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Zimmer Marketing is proud to partner with 2026 Zimmer Cares winner, Evan's Voice.
If your child received a threatening message tonight, what would they do? Would you know where to turn for help? Physical safety is easy to identify, but today's dangers don't always come from the streets. They often come through a screen. On January 3rd, 2024, 16-year-old Evan Bettler became a victim of an international sextortion scheme. Tragically, the experience led him to take his own life. Evan's parents turned their grief into action, creating Evan's Voice to educate families, raise awareness, and help prevent future tragedies. Through sharing Evan's story, providing resources for families, supporting victims, and advocating for stronger protections, Evan's Voice is helping parents, students, and communities understand the growing threat of online exploitation and sextortion. Learn more about Evan's Voice. Access resources for your family. Contact evansvoice.org for more information.
Zimmer Cares, helping local charities deliver their message to the hearts and minds of the 4 states.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-884-1012 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-884-1012. That's 800-884-1012. What do you have to lose? Call 800-884-1012. Again, 800-884-1012.
News, weather, politics. Live from the Downstream Casino Resort Studio. News Talk KZRG. Depend on it. From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk KZRG.
8 10 is the KZRG News Time. It's FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, News Talk KZRG. Joining us live now in Studio 1Z is Carterville Mayor Alan Griffin, along with Jonathan Cook, the city administrator for Carterville. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Now, we're here this morning to talk about the Missouri State Auditor's Office auditing the city of Carterville. This really blew up on social media, became a big deal. I want to start off by reading really the very first line of the audit, which said, quote, "The city's water and sewer fund is in poor financial condition. For the year ended October 31st, 2024, the city's water and sewer fund had a beginning balance of $106,000, revenues of $963,000, disbursements of $1.7 million, resulting in a negative ending fund balance of $634,000, end quote. What happened?
Well, I'd like to go ahead and introduce my new administrator of almost 2 years, and he's been doing a fantastic job. I think it's the best thing that's happened to Carterville. We've got different council members in now, and we are working together to go forward and do what the audit, the answers that come into the audit. We're going to take that and turn it into, learn from it. But I'll let him talk about the $634,000. There's no missing the $634,000.
Just a negative balance.
And before I turn it over to him, we had in that period of time a lot of turnover, and the turnover was not from this audit got filed and they ran off because they knew there was going to be something. No, it was some of them left because of toxic council
work
environment, absolutely. And but we had some software that we had just started up too, and went through 5-6 people probably in a short period of time as far as city clerks, had no administrator. So I'm very thankful for that. Jonathan came along, and I know he's a godsend. I believe that.
So Jonathan Cook, Carterville city administrator, what happened then?
Thank you for the kind words, Alan. So I came in at the end of October 24, and so this audit covers the period of November 23 to October 24. That's our running fiscal year. And so I came in, and
so it predates you, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, but ultimately we're all, the city. We serve the taxpayers, and we're responsible for those books. And so whenever I came in, we got a snapshot of trying to figure out where we're at monetarily, and I got with Alan and realized there had been quite a bit of turnover on the people who handle the finances, and so it took quite a while to unwind and unpack and go through bank statements, go through thousands and thousands of transactions, and we hired a CPA, and it took a lot of time, and I think we ended up hiring the CPA in March of 25, which is the month that the state auditor showed up in my office. And so I had to give them what I had at the time, which was this QuickBooks file that really I didn't have the capability to fix. I mean, it needed a licensed professional, accounting professional to go through it. There was just too much double journal entries, too many misclassifications, and that's a problem. That's where I think two big reasons of what causes this $634,000 deficit on the books is, number one, if you have how a city municipal fund accounting works is the only analogy I can come up with is a city has multiple bank accounts, not just one. Most people, you have your one bank account, your one checkbook, if you will. A city has multiple, and they're restricted in how you spend them and how you classify them. And so if you have a clerk who maybe necessarily doesn't know how municipal fund accounting works, you can take water and sewer revenue and accidentally put it into the street fund or accidentally put it into your general fund.
Are there not safeguards built in so you can't just start throwing money around?
So there should be internal controls and procedures for oversight. And obviously the state audit report notes that wasn't being done, but that's something we fixed basically as soon as we got there. They have a finance committee made up of 4 council members and the mayor, and they review bi-weekly the finances. There's a lot of oversight now and double checking everybody.
Now, right. So really quickly here, I don't want to cut you off here, but we only have limited time. Jonathan Cook, City Administrator for Carterville. Carterville Mayor Alan Griffin, I mean, you were mayor during this period, right? Were you caught off guard by this? You weren't keeping track of everything?
Well,
making sure people were doing their jobs
trusting
right?
your people to do their job, and the role of a mayor too. I was working full time.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I am not now, but and I don't plan on running again. But I'm going to be retiring in April, but I'm not retired on the job yet.
Right.
I want to get a lot done, and government moves slow, and I'm wanting to do more. We had our last council meeting was 3 hours and 54 minutes. But I had a lot on the agenda, and we got a lot done. And that's the way it's going to be until I leave, is I want to leave this town. I want to make a difference. When you're a servant, when you serve, you want to make a difference to mankind or this world. You know, I serve Christ, but the way you serve Christ is in your community. It's in, sir. And one thing that John Ashcroft told me years ago, STP, remember that? It'll be your guide. Serve the people. And that's what I told Jonathan. His role, he wants to come into administration and serve as an administrator for his whole career. His career is in that. He's looking to get his master's soon.
So Mayor Alan Griffin at Carterville Hill on News Talk KZRG. Jonathan, it kind of sounds like what you're describing really at its basis is mismanagement of these accounts, of these funds. Do you feel that's an accurate word to describe that?
Well, you talk about oversight with what he had just said. I'm not a CPA. Mm-hmm. You know, and I reached out to temp agencies to get a treasurer to help do this, and it didn't go well at all. I want to keep this positive, but there was a lot that happened. When you have 5 people looking at these books that are not really designed for the municipal government, that's a recipe for disaster anyway.
Right.
So everything was meant to try. It was just like a perfect storm, I guess. I can't describe it.
A perfect storm of turnover, software is not corresponding the way it should be. Again, mismanagement. Does that seem like a fair, accurate description?
Let me assure you, though, now, we have a staff that is very skilled, working together, best city clerk. Oh, my goodness. Julinda is great. The next day, you're getting minutes from the night before. Most of the time. I mean, it's been
right.
Night and day completely. So, but I've learned a lot through this too. I mean, I've learned through
about hiring CPAs to make sure that you don't have a deficit of more than $500,000 in your wastewater system. Is that something
we actually
you learned?
had an independent audit done after we were able to create a revised QuickBooks file that has the correct beginning balance, because that's the state audit audited numbers that we gave them. Absolutely. But after we were able to spend the next 6 months after March of 25 working on that QuickBooks file, going through thousands of transactions, making sure that purchases and revenue and expenses that were brought in were put in the right place, and then gave that to an independent auditor, they didn't come up with that conclusion. And we provided that to the state, but they weren't really interested in it.
Okay. So, I want to take a look now. Something else the audit had found, Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick had audited Carterville. They found in the same time period, we're talking 2024 fiscal year era, 8 out of 10 of the city's funds went over budget. How and why does that happen?
So it is typical that a city should do budget amendments. It's required by state law if you are planning to go over your budgeted amount. Even in revenue, if you're going to bring in more than you said, you need to have a budget amendment. And typically what cities do is they just do one giant one at the end of the year. That's not recommended by the state audit, and that's not how we at Carterville do that either. We do it as needed. That way you're not having a bunch of stuff tied up at the very end. And I've always said, well, what if council says no at the very end? Well, I didn't want to approve that expense. So you need to do it as needed. If you're planning to...
And prior to Jonathan, we had been doing it at the end of the year. We basically had budget planning meetings and figured it all out like a month and a half before the fiscal year.
The state audit had said that wasn't happening.
So in this year, because of the turnover, I'm assuming it wasn't done. And I came in October 17th.
Right.
The end of the fiscal year is the 31st. There is no way I had enough time to... get a correct budget amendment, and what you could have done that I feel would have been incorrect is you could have just passed a blanket bill that says, let the budget be amended for revenues and expenses to match the budget. But
basically mirrored last
we didn't,
year's.
I didn't even know what the correct revenues or expenses were yet.
Right.
So
Somebody coming in, I mean, it takes you at least, 20, 30 days just to get your, head on your shoulders with everything.
Right. And then on top of that, when you have turnover in your other departments, because a new city administrator coming on with the backing of the mayor and council to really change things and improve things, it can create a lot of stress for people.
I want to talk. We're live now with Carterville Mayor Alan Griffin, along with Jonathan Cook. He's the city administrator for the city of Carterville in Southwest Missouri. Scott Fitzpatrick, state auditor, had audited the city. It also found in November of 2023, city officials authorized the payment of holiday retention incentives, which appear to be bonuses, for lack of a better term, to the tune of $3,600. I mean,
this had been going on for
that?
the years before, and basically it's the terminology, from what I understand. Other cities do similar things, but they call it incentive.
And they do it for different reasons. There needs to be a reason for the incentive as well, not just here you go.
Which it seems like that's what the auditor had issue with. It seemed like y'all just gave yourselves bonuses. What's the deal with that?
That's to the administration, not to each other. Let me make that clear.
Okay. So walk us through that difference.
Well,
and I can answer it if
sure,
you want.
go ahead.
So that $3,600, basically what that is it seems like each employee got $250 around November
of 2023.
Yes. And so that's the breakdown of the $3,600. It was in their policy, so it was approved for that to happen, but I just don't think that the council was aware that can't happen, and I'm not even sure. Other than that, I'm not sure why it was there, but we got it fixed now. As soon as we came in, and I told them, I don't think that we can do this, and everybody's like, okay, let's stop doing it.
Yeah, and that is something I do want to make clear here. Jonathan Cook, the current city administrator of Carterville, all of this audit predates Jonathan Cook. So this was before. So you, Jonathan, you inherited this, I'm going to use the word mess, right?
Sure. Yeah. And during our interviews and the process of onboarding me and hiring me to come on to Carterville, I knew it was a challenge, but that's why I'm in city government. That's why I want to be a city administrator. Is I love a challenge. I love improving people's quality of life and being a good public servant for taxpayers.
Mm-hmm.
I think for far too long we've seen a lot of city governments with this type of management, and that needs to change. And me and Alan are on the same page of we want to be different. Carterville has a lot of redeeming qualities, and it's not really gotten a fair shake because of the decades of just letting things kind of go off to the side and not preparing for the future. And we're going to turn things around and get this changed and give Carterville a good name.
So let's go through that then. How are you going to turn this around, this mismanagement issue?
So we've established internal controls to make sure that council gets a overview of the finances every month,
monthly,
and then the finance committee, which is made up of council members, oversees the finances every 2 weeks. Every person that gets a paycheck, because as you know, there needs to be a delegation of duties. So the person writing payroll, who's doing payroll, somebody needs to be watching their paycheck because they're the ones giving out the checks. So there's a lot of procedures you need to be watching everybody. There's a lot of like we've established trust to your city administration and to your employees. There still needs to be oversight, and we've established that. We have the finance committee to make sure that they're watching things, watching the bills.
Has there been changes to the makeup of the finance committee? Because it seems to me like clearly they weren't doing it before. Why now are they going to suddenly start doing it? What is the
We've always had
the
a
assurance?
finance committee.
And I can kind of help. The city administration before or the city whoever was not giving the correct reports to the finance committee. So,
and who was that?
Clerk.
Do we have a name? The clerk.
There's been several different ones, so I don't want, I don't know who it falls on, to be honest with you, because Alan, you had 6 different city clerks in that short time period, so
right.
I'm not sure who exactly to put it on, and I don't know if it's fair of me to even,
Sure. I guess what
either.
most people want to know is the person or people that are responsible for this mismanagement, are they still there?
No.
Or are they gone?
Oh, definitely.
There's one person that's still with us, and that's our court clerk. And I thank the Lord that she stuck with me through this whole mess. If I hadn't had her, I'd have been signing the checks. I mean, I reached out to other people, and it's like, you got to do what you got to do. But it was a perfect storm. But you know what? I'm tougher for it because of it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and she is remaining, but the court wasn't mentioned at all in the state audit. I don't even believe that they covered the course, so there's no issues there. But really, the only employees remaining with the city before this state audit from October 24 is the police chief and the court clerk. Everybody else has changed over. All public works,
everything,
all of the upfront administration,
and some of the council members too.
I have no control over that.
But right, of course. Right. But just
the citizens. The difference in finance has probably been, since we are under an audit. Believe me, when an audit hits you, you start to question everything. Is this the right thing to do? You put a different mindset on, and you question, did I do this right or did I do this wrong? But I'm not a skilled professional mayor. I've been a salesman for 35 years, but I care. That's the biggest thing. On the back of my card, towns don't grow and improve themselves. Caring people grow and improve their towns. Mm-hmm. And Carterville's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's important. We aren't disputing the report. The numbers that report is accurate. The numbers in the report are accurate as of to the numbers they audited. But, I think what's important to understand is if you give bad books to be audited, you're going to get bad numbers. So I completely understand and appreciate the state auditor and their report, and I think they did a great job, and we appreciate them bringing it to light for the citizens of Carterville. And, it's something that we want to have that avenue of transparency. That's what the taxpayers deserve, and now we have to get to work. And improve things.
Yeah, absolutely. Carterville Mayor Alan Griffin and Carterville City Administrator Jonathan Cook, thank you guys for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
KZRG News Time, 8:28.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Temperatures will stay above average right on through our weekend. Today, there may be an isolated shower thunderstorm. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun into the afternoon hours. The high today near 97. The heat index closing in on 103 when you add in the humidity. And then scattered thunderstorms may pop up overnight with a low falling to 74. Partly to mostly cloudy on Friday tomorrow with a few afternoon thunderstorms at a high near 93. Then a sunny and hotter weekend with highs on Saturday and Sunday reaching the upper 90s. I'm Jeff Marr in the KZRG Storm Center.
The bad news, everything's getting more expensive. The good news, this July you can make way more for your aluminum cans at Missouri Metal Recycling in Webb City. Just tell them you want to make mo money. So have a couple of beers, gather up your cans and your other scrap, and make sure you say the words, make mo money. This summer, drinking beer pays off. Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 3:30, get your cans to Missouri Metal Recycling in Webb City and tell them you want to make mo money.
Do you ever buy Pringles? The chips in the tube. Everyone looks identical to the next. Well, almost identical. And that almost has bugged the chip engineers for years, until AI entered the picture. I'm Kim Comando for Incogni. Data brokers make it easy for anyone to look you up online. Protect your personal information with Incogni. Get 60% off today at privacykim.com. Okay, back to the chips. The Pringles factory in Jackson, Tennessee cranks out 750 million pounds a year. For 4 years, they've been chasing to develop the perfect Pringle. So they gave every chip a digital twin, a live AI copy. Sensors track everything, down to the size of a dried potato particle in the dough. Spot a flaw? AI corrects it, chip by chip. So when someone says AI is everywhere, just smile and nod and remember the Pringle. Because once AI popped in, the flaws stopped, and AI finally earned its salt. Smarter in 5 minutes a day, it's my free newsletter. At getkim.com, go right now. When police search the car of the man who assassinated a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband in their own home, they found a notebook. Inside, a handwritten list of 11 websites, not weapons sites. Data brokers, people search sites that sell your home address for just a couple of bucks. Type your name into one right now, and there you are. Your address, your phone, your family's names, a photo of your front door. Anyone can look you up in seconds, and you'll never know who did. That's why I use Incogni. It forces data brokers and people's search sites to delete you, then keeps checking because deleted data creeps back. Incogni has scrubbed me from over 400 sites, while I did exactly nothing. You lock your doors every night. So tonight, lock down your address. Go to privacykim.com for 60% off. That's privacykim.com, because the next time a stranger searches your name, let them find nothing. A scammer or worse can't find you if you don't exist. Get 60% off right now at privacykim.com.
At 8:31, I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Bojorquez.
Here's what's trending on News Talk, KZRG.
Unemployment claims.
Iran still talking.
Fauci testimony.
No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk. KZRG heading for a high of 97. Your complete forecast with KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr. Following sports, that'll be at 8:38. 81 in Neosho, 77 in Pittsburgh, 81 in Carthage, 81 in Joplin. FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310. News Talk, KZRG.
The latest update on the job market has just come in.
Fewer people than expected applied for first-time jobless help last week. The number of claims rose by 199,000. Economists were expecting 202,000 claims. The prior week was revised slightly higher. Continuing claims, the total number of unemployed workers receiving ongoing unemployment insurance benefits came in higher than expected, 1.8 million versus 1.79 million. Tomorrow we get the big monthly employment report, which many consider critical for getting a complete look at the health of the economy. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
The Middle East is still waiting to see if a deal can be reached on the Strait of Hormuz to end the war between the U.S. and Iran.
The president spoke from Las Vegas about the Iranian regime.
I'd rather make a deal because I don't want to kill people. I do not want to kill people.
Reports do indicate that progress in talks between Iran and Oman aimed at opening the strait, led in part by Gulf allies urging the president not to strike. Amid the possibility of a return to conflict with Iran if an agreement isn't reached, President Trump posted to Truth Social about reports the United States is running out of air defense interceptors. The president said in part, the U.S. has massive amounts of munitions, especially of certain types. He goes on to say additionally large amounts are being manufactured and shipped to the U.S. as needed.
Dr. Anthony Fauci is back facing a contempt vote over his COVID testimony last week.
Republicans say Dr. Fauci should have been able to answer questions during his hearing last week because of his preemptive pardon from former President Biden. But the pardon only covers what happened before 2025, meaning Fauci could face charges for any perjury committed last Wednesday. So he invoked the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times, accusing Chairman Rand Paul of having a vendetta against him. Usually, the full Senate must approve a resolution holding Fauci in contempt of Congress before sending it to the Justice Department for prosecution. But Paul believes he has a workaround, handing the measure directly to the DOJ, along with a legal brief supporting his argument.
FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, News Talk KZRG. 70, make that 81 at 8:34. News Talk KZRG.
A man from Sarcoxy could be spending the next 15 years in prison. Steve Smith, why?
64-year-old Glenn Jump admitted to sexually abusing a young family member, only 10 or 11 years old at the time. Prosecutors say that Jump used gifts, money, drugs, and alcohol to manipulate the victim. They say Jump previously served prison time for similar crimes. He'll officially be sentenced next month. Steve Smith, News Talk KZRG.
The fight over what regions of the state are represented in Congress continues. The Missouri Secretary of State, Denny Hoskins, has blocked a referendum from getting on the ballot, which challenges the newly drawn 8 congressional districts, which made a 7-1 Republican advantage from the previous 6-2. He says the challenge to the new map is unconstitutional.
And courts have consistently held that congressional redistricting is subject to the laws and requirements of state constitutions, including the right to a referendum. People in Missouri are going to have the final say in November and the chance to vote no to politicians and their desperate power grabs.
People Not Politics of Missouri immediately sued the Secretary of State. That's the group that gathered 305,000 signatures against the newly drawn congressional district. If you see news, text us at 417-782-1310. Mixture of sun and clouds, 81, 836 News Talk, KZRG.
Well, you can save a little money on back-to-school shopping this weekend. It's Missouri's sales tax holiday. It kicks off tomorrow and runs through Sunday, August 9th. You won't be paying state or local sales tax on qualifying items like clothing, school supplies, and some tech products. The National Federation of Independent Businesses is encouraging you to shop at local stores during this time when you can. You can get a detailed list of what qualifying items are qualifying at newstalkkzrg.com.
Get ready to say goodbye to Google Assistant.
The virtual assistant from Google that had you asking your phone, "Hey Google," will be going away sooner than you think. It's been slowly coming offline this year, and now the online giant says they will be shutting it down starting September 4th. Why get rid of it? To push you more towards using Google Gemini, its artificial intelligence. The cutoff for the assistant will affect more than just your phone, but anything else connected to your phone, including smartwatches, headphones, and even Android Auto in your car. Most of Google's smart home devices are already moved over to Gemini. Eben Brown, Fox News.
The Cardinals were winners, according to Joe Morgan.
The Cardinals took 2 out of 3 in the Bronx, wrapping up a 3-1 win over the New York Yankees last night. J.J. Weatherholt delivered a huge 2-run double, with Ivan Herrera driving him home shortly after. Backing a solid performance on the bump from Andre Plante is the Cards' first series win in nearly a month. Redbirds are off tonight before returning home tomorrow at 7:15 to host the Rockies. That game will be on AM 1230 The Talker. Across the state, the Kansas City Royals pulled off a tight 2-1 victory over Minnesota. Michael Massey broke the tie in the 7th with a solo shot, while Noah Cameron was stellar, striking out 9 over 8 innings. Kansas City goes for the series sweep tonight at home. First pitch is at 6:30. And closer to home, fall sports are officially underway. Missouri Southern football hit the field at Fred G. Hughes Stadium yesterday morning, kicking off day 1 of preseason camp for the Lions. Sports is brought to you by Hickman Lawn and Landscape. For professional lawn and landscape solutions in Webb City and Joplin, choose the experts at Hickman Lawn and Landscape. Visit hickmanlawns.com. That's sports. I'm Joe Morgan for News Talk KZRG.
Your news, the service of the City of Joplin, from plastic bottles to metal cans. Recycling in Joplin is easy. Get rolling. Request your recycling cart today. Recycling benefits us all. Learn more at joplinrecycles.com. Recycle. It's how we roll. I'm Steve Scott.
And I'm Ted Bojorquez.
Next news, 9 o'clock, breaking news as it happens. No one gives you more accurate weather more often than News Talk. KZRG. Now, KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Temperatures will stay above average right on through our weekend. Today, there may be an isolated shower thunderstorm. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sun into the afternoon hours. The high today near 97. The heat index closing in on 103 when you add in the humidity. And then scattered thunderstorms may pop up overnight with a low falling to 74. Partly to mostly cloudy on Friday tomorrow with a few afternoon thunderstorms at a high near 93. Then a sunny and hotter weekend with highs on Saturday and Sunday reaching the upper 90s. I'm Jeff Marr in the KZRG Storm Center.
No rain showing up this morning on the KZRG Storm Tracker radar. 81 in Neosho, 77 in Pittsburgh, 81 in Webb City, 81 in Joplin. News Talk KZRG with 100 weather updates every 24 hours. KZRG News Time going on 8:40.
I'm Hal Cheeseball with the news. Our top story tonight is a local hurricane. Let's send it out to our meteorologist on the streets, Jim Windy.
You won't believe it, Hal, but we're actually seeing people rushing into the 3 hurricanes that we have in our area.
Wow, Jim, 3? Where are these hurricanes?
Well, we have 2 in Carthage, one by Walmart and the other on Central, and the 3rd is near the airport in Webb City.
Strange. And why are people driving into them?
Everyone says they love how clean it makes their car, Hal.
It's hurricane season, and now is the time to sign up for your unlimited wash membership to Hurricane Car Wash. Get daily washes in the soft touch or touch-free bays 24/7 at all 3 of their locations. This is your warning. Download the Touch 4 Wash.
Good morning, everybody.
When the only thing strong enough to fight the dirt is a hurricane. Hurricane Car Wash.
It's time again for the weekly sacrifice. Kids, what have you brought before us?
Avery said, "Oh yes, I'm going to drive to my fast food place without my driver's license. I'm sure that will end well." Listen, Avery, you just got to drive faster than the cops, and then you'll be good. Hey, Bobby Joe. Good morning. Shout out to
Especially when you turn on the lights behind you.
yeah. That's the go. Lights mean go. Shout out to JPD for arresting a DoorDasher and then delivering a Chick-fil-A, Lord's Chicken, to Freedom Business Center. That's very funny.
Contact us now for a free energy audit and let us show you how our American
Yeah, aggressively positive videos are very funny, Teresa. Bill said, "Been listening to some of the Bowling for Soup songs. I think Steve would recognize the song 1985. Madonna, no, what is it? Madonna, way before Nirvana, there was YouTube and Blondie and music still on MTV. You don't know that song?
That sounds familiar.
That is shocking to me.
That one does sound familiar. It's not totally ringing a bell, but it's sounding familiar.
Teresa said, "Did Joe blow kisses at us before waving? Because the guy should always blow kisses to us in the comment section, just saying." You know, you're right. We should always be blowing kisses to you guys and hand-delivering roses and providing foot and back massages.
And DoorDash.
And DoorDash, yeah. I'd like to also know when the high turnover issues began. Yeah, you know, Teresa, I will say, listen, I love radio. I love radio. It is sincerely my favorite medium. The reality is, the thing that I hate about radio the most is that we do have limited time. Because there were so many questions that I wanted to ask them about that audit. And there was so much more information that I wanted to get to you. But we went way over time, which I'm going to get yelled at for later. But it was worth it because that was a big story and that was important that we had. And I'm so upset that we couldn't go longer to go through more of that audit. Because, by the way, we didn't even get to the part of the audit that said that the city, that Carterville's council had closed-door meetings, i.e. the public is not allowed to be there or even know what they're talking about, for no reason. The audit said there was no legitimate justification for those closed-door, you could say secret meetings. We didn't even get to talk about that. That is something I wanted to know more about. But again, the downside, the one downside to radio is that you can't get into all of it. We don't have enough time. That's the only thing that I dislike about radio. Aside from that, it's, yeah, I just, you know. But listen, I'll give it to those guys that came in, and I told them this after the interview. I said, you gentlemen, you came in and took your beating like a man. So I'll give them credit for that.
That's why she counts on easy reordering online and 24/7 support. Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand, so shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. And if there's two things you can count on, it's your smoke detector battery dying at 3 a.m. Not 3 p.m. on a Saturday when you have nothing going on, but in the middle of the night when you're fast asleep.
Oh, come on!
Get 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Just one more thing you can count on. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
News, talk, commentary, and hard truths. All those can be heard when you tune into the Mark Levin Show every weekday from 5 to 8 on News Talk KZRG. Depend on it.
From Studio 1Z, with the latest news, commentary, and weather, it's the KZRG Morning News Watch on News Talk KZRG.
The primary election was just a few days ago, and Missouri voters voted down a proposal to get rid of the individual state income tax. So that is not going to be happening. However, despite that being a reality, there is a statewide tax break coming to you this weekend.
Yep, it is. We'll have details on that right after the weather. It's going to be sunny and hot today with the high of 97. Feeling like as high as 103 to 105. And then tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Pretty good chance. 73 for the overnight low. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms are possible, 93 for the high, with the heat index topping out around 100. Then here comes Saturday and Sunday, 98 for the high with sunshine and hot on Sunday, or Saturday, 98 again on Sunday. So it's going to be a nice, hot, toasty weekend, according to KZRG meteorologist Jeff Marr.
Missouri shoppers will be getting a break on back-to-school purchases during the state's annual sales tax holiday, which runs starting at 12:01 a.m. Friday, August 7th.
That's tonight.
That's tonight, technically. I mean, technically, it's tomorrow morning, but 12:01 tonight. So keep that in mind. Now, this runs all weekend. It ends on Sunday, August 9th. And basically what this is for certain qualifying items, you will not have to pay state or local tax for those items. Now, what are those qualifying items? Well, clothing, for instance. Clothing will be tax exempt this weekend. However, it is clothing costing $100 or less per item. So you can't just go out and get your Gucci belts for $350 and expect a tax break. Nope. This is for clothing items that are $100 or less per item. School supplies also qualify. School supplies costing $50 or less per purchase. So keep that in mind as well. You can't just start bulk buying a bunch of notebooks to resell later and make a profit on the tax income. Not happening. Graphing calculators costing $150 or less. You can't get the new, Abacus 10,000 with the built-in seat warmer. Nope, just basic run-of-the-mill graphing calculators for students that you might need for calculus or algebra 2 or whatever. So graphing calculators will be tax exempt in Missouri this weekend, so long as they cost $150 or less. There was also computer software costing $350 or less. And you might be thinking, what does this have to do with back to school? Well, for people in, say, trade school or college, things like that, people taking online courses, that is schooling. You could be a 35-year-old grown man with a wife, 2 kids, and a mortgage and be taking online courses and could be taking courses in how to do certain things which require certain computer software. Mm-hmm. That's schooling. So long as the software costs $350 or less, it will be tax exempt in the state of Missouri from state and local taxes. This also applies to personal computers. Yeah, laptops. You can go out and get your kid or yourself a laptop this weekend and not pay tax on it. Sales tax, unless it costs more than $1,500. So if you buy a laptop this weekend for $1,499
and
99 cents, no state or local sales tax will be added to that purchase starting tonight at 12:01, which is technically Friday morning, going through this Sunday, August 9th.
I wonder if any stores are actually locally going to be staying open at midnight for this sale.
You know what, Steve? I think that they should. I think we need to bring back like the good old-fashioned Black Friday,
yeah, that'd be a good
shopping
idea.
day. Or like back in the day when like a new video game or new TV or like a new iPhone came out, people would wait in line. And they would have like a big like impromptu block party in line to purchase this new product, right?
Or before the COVID-19 pandemic when the stores would stay open 24 hours a day.
Brother, let me tell you, if we could turn back the clock to before the COVID-19 pandemic on literally everything, I think the whole country would do better for it.
I would agree completely.
So anyway, you can get more details on this Missouri sales tax holiday at newstalkkzrg.com. Again, it applies to state and local sales tax, and there are a few other qualifying stipulations. I'll put it that way. There's a handful more in there that we don't have time to get into, but you can find out at newstalkkzrg.com. KZRG News Time, 8:50.
And now, KZRG's Big Three on News Talk KZRG.
Number 3.
The Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs set to vote on whether or not to hold Fauci in contempt of Congress for pleading the Fifth more than 100 times last week during questioning. Republican Senator Rand Paul wants the Department of Justice to get involved swiftly.
Number 2.
Kansas, Oklahoma, and 13 other states joined and won a lawsuit against the ATF's rules on requiring registration of firearm suppressors. The government argued since suppressors are taxed, they need a list of who owns them so they'll know who to tax. But the one big beautiful bill that was passed last year did away with that tax, which means there's no need to keep a list of who owns suppressors.
Number 1.
Don't forget, you can still check out KZRG's Elections HQ for midterm results and see who's going to be squaring off against who in the general election.
Now, the KZRG question of the day.
If you could add one thing to the United States Constitution, what would it be? We want to know. Go to KZRG's Facebook page or text us at 417-782-1310. If you could add one thing, just one, to the U.S. Constitution, what would it be? You can also leave us an open mic message on the KZRG app, or you can hit us up on our Facebook page, News.KZRG on Facebook. Coming up in less than 10 minutes, the Chris Plant Show. We'll be here at 9. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton cracking the mic at 11. Sean Hannity at 2. Mark Levin at 5. The Vince Show with Vince Colonnese coming to you live every single weeknight starting at 8. Joe Pags at 11. Coast to Coast with George Norrie at midnight. On FM 102.9, 105.9, AM 1310, and on your smart speaker, it's News Talk KZRG.
Here is your KZRG forecast. Temperatures will stay above average right on through our weekend. Today, there may be an isolated shower thunderstorm. Otherwise,
Hey, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate it. We will talk.